What's up, guys? This is Grand Cam in the building. We are the Grand Mail Podcast, and this is episode 30. Guys, 30 episodes of the Grand Mail Podcast. And of course, I had to do it with Steve, the Dean Williams from themanmindset.com. Steve is in the building. How are you doing, my man?
Man, I'm good, man.
And of course, I had to do it with Steve,
my
Dean
bad.
Williams from themanmindset.com. Oh my God, it's the Matrix. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm sorry. That's me. That's my.
All good, man. We haven't you Steve. You haven't done YouTube enough.
Yeah, I have not. I just started.
How are you doing, Steve? It's honestly, I gotta say, man, it's really a pleasure. It's an honor to share this space with you. For someone who's been very, very instrumental in my life. How are you feeling, man? How are you doing?
I'm good. Just grinding like I always do. This is working and grinding, man. Coaching and stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. So just a quick introduction about myself, how I found out about Steve. So, just to going down the rabbit hole of, I have to say this, Steve, I did find out about you through red pill, rabbit holes and stuff. And feel free to,
You probably hate things. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. And you know what? And we're going to talk about just how the manosphere, red pill stuff, how it's affecting men. Because it's definitely it's a double-edged sword in my opinion, and I love to hear Steve's take on this as well. So Steve, like I said, I needed help with dating. I remember I got flaked on, and that was like the final straw for me. I've been flaked on multiple times. It wasn't like the first time I've been flaked on, and it was the final straw, and I was so angry about it. And then actually I found through one content creator who was a red pill content creator, then it went down to multiple other ones, and then through a self-help academy that I was a part of in the red pill. Then I found out about Mr. Lucario. Okay. Then when I started watching Mr. Lucario's channel, then I saw Steve the Dean. I saw Miles Cunningham. I saw EO. I saw everybody else. And I'm like, oh, okay, these guys are legit. So then one thing that stood out about Steve a lot was that Steve didn't make it about theory, which he has a website along with other content along with other guys with game called realgamenotheory.com.
Yes.
So everybody go check that out, realgamenotheory.com. Just open a tab and just, kind of skim through it while we're talking, having the podcast. And Steve makes it about you, right? Which is pretty much the panel that he's associated with. They all make it about you. Yes. And it's not about women. Never. It's not about cars. It's not about money. It's not about your, validating, getting your parents' validation. It's just about you. Yes. And that to me was so simple, but so profound and so thought-provoking. I'm like, how the hell no one taught me this? Why didn't I learn about this? And why doesn't the news tell me this? Why doesn't the media tell me this? Why doesn't government tell me this? Why doesn't my friends and family tell me this? Because anyway, look, whatever the reason was, Steve brought the point home. And I remember Steve, let me tell you another thing I have to say to Steve.
Sure.
Steve is extremely tough on me when I was on the phone with him. And that is the tough brother love that I needed. And and Steve, you even called me out on the phone one time, and I think you and EO both said I sound like a bitch on the phone. It was good though. No, it was good though. I'm not saying this against Steve.
No, there's no knock. It's just here's the thing, real quick. I don't feel like I'm tough on. I don't try to be tough. I just the only way you can grow is just to know what it is. I don't want you to be in a fairy tale world thinking that you're okay when you're not okay, because that means I'm doing more harm to you than good by helping you validate your weaknesses. Not saying you, but the average person. So
yeah, absolutely. And Steve, I just had to turn on the AC in my house. It's way too hot in here. You don't hear any noise or anything, right?
No, you're good.
Beautiful. So there were multiple calls, and I remember I would call in the show multiple times to get Steve's take on a certain subject. And I remember when I was on the phone with Steve, I was like, I got to make sure everything's perfect. I got to make sure that everything I say, otherwise Steve is going to grill my ass, and he's going to just tell me you know what, you go back into the waiting room and stuff until you're ready to go or something like that.
Yes.
And I had a love-hate relationship mentally with Steve. I'm like, why is it that Lucario and Miles and everyone is so patient with me, but Steve is always so freaking hard on me all the time, right? But it was so good. It was so important because it I remember, Steve, when I was younger, and I want to pass this on to you for right in a moment.
Sure.
One of the issues I had, Steve, was that I lacked thick skin.
Yes.
And I remember when I joined this business fraternity at my undergraduate school, prior to joining, I remember I guess I was a little bit more sensitive than usual. Little things would get under my skin. I'll get annoyed about it. And then when I joined the fraternity, I remember there was some conflicts that would come about. And then I would go to my dad and say, like, Dad, why is this like this? And why is this happening? And then he said, well, they're teaching you to have thick skin. So, then when and then whenever Steve, now circling back to Steve, when I was calling him, I realized like I needed a little bit of that reality check, and I need that truth bomb to be brought on to me so I can wake the fuck up. And now I am where I am because of Steve, Lucario, and everybody else who made a huge impact on my life.
Thank you, but no, it's you. Again, I have one thing I say. I never take credit for that. I don't. I just put the weapons on the table, and if you do it, you do it. It's not because I was, as much as I love to take credit for things like that, I'm not like these YouTubers that want credit for everything. It's not me.
So humble, but but you know what it is? It's like Steve said, it's actually very poignant. Again, he's even what he just said right now, guys. He's making it about me. He's like saying it's you. You're the one that did the work.
Yes.
And yeah, and all Steve does and Lucario and everybody else is they show you the truth. They say this is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's inside you. So you either act on it or you be a phony and you be a fake and you just go about life like dicking around being stupid the whole time and like making dumb decisions pretty much.
Yeah, especially speaking of dumb decisions, it's hard. What's the hardest thing for me to do?
What
is when a guy asks me to show him receipts. and no, you want to know why it's the hardest thing to do? It's the hardest thing to do because the only man that could tell me what to do was my father. And it's hard to even wrap my brain around me having to prove myself to another woman, more or less. So I don't prove myself to women, but it's hard. It shocks me to even try to come up with a thought of I have to prove myself to another man. That's just it's mind blowing. I'm sorry. It's just something that crowd, because you were saying what you said. I just thought about it. It's one of the most. It just shuts me down because I create universes and shit. How do I even answer that question to somebody when my father is the only one that could tell me what to do? The only man in my life that could tell me what to do when I was a young kid. So it's just something I just thought I'd bring up.
You see, even just a simple thing like that, bringing up your example, Steve, it fascinates me because, you essentially, by you saying that, you're helping men become mentally free. And that's one of the things that the Grand Meal podcast is all about. It's just helping guys unchain themselves from this stupid mental constraints that's holding them from being the man that they should be, the man that they're destined to be.
Absolutely.
So that right there alone, I mean, it's so funny because I see it all the time that say, you're like, let me see receipts. I don't believe you. I'm like, well, if you don't believe me, if you don't believe in the rhetoric that I have, you don't believe in like who I am as a person, my character. How about my character, for God's sakes? If you don't believe in my character, then we're not destined to work together. I don't need to be your coach. You don't need to be my client. I only want to take God serious and believe in my cause and my mission. Right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm probably like the only one out there that tells guys to tell me the text messages. Tell me what she's saying. I go off the top of my head all the time. If that's not proof, when you go to my website, you see videos live on air where we're getting the woman to play with her pussy.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry. No, this is a dirty channel.
Okay,
go ahead and say what you want to say.
Well, okay, good. Fuck. Okay. Well, women get to play with their pussies just off of me. I mean, I have those receipts there because again, it's not about me. I don't make it about me, and I never make it about me. And I've never ever had to prove myself to somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? I never felt that I had to. I can't even imagine. I don't know. Again, I can run my mouth, but just thinking about that, having to prove myself to a loser or a regular guy of who the fuck I just
a random who has nothing to do with you. It's just some dude on the internet that created an account and you have God knows who this person is. It could be a woman behind the camera. You don't even know who it is. You really don't even know who it is. So one thing I want to do is give a shout to Bernie. He's my mod for the channel. He also does mod for 1950 as well. He says, Grand Cam, say salute to him for me.
Hey.
And
Hey, Bernie.
he also said, believe me, Grand Cam, you're on the good side of Steve the Dean. Ask him about sushi when he calls in. I know about sushi. Yeah. I think that Sushi is almost called every show that you guys have on Tuesdays. I think I
Well,
literally like almost hear him every time.
yeah, well, sushi is what happens when you're just not teachable. You just have to understand that this isn't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This just isn't. Everybody was not built to be a man. It is
Mm-hmm.
just what it is. And when Sushi has got all the help that he possibly could give him, and he still just doesn't want to follow, it's just you just got to cut the cord because it's just a waste of time at that point, man.
When you say that not all men are ready for the game, what does that mean exactly, Steve?
That means everybody can't make the football team. Everybody can't make the basketball team or the baseball team. You just can't make it. And the world basically, see, the world leaves us men alone because we're a small minority in this world. Because okay, the main thing, everything is about economy. Pushing paper, money. Selling stuff to people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the world itself leaves us alone because we're such a small group. They can't we don't watch TV shows and say, "Wow, I see that beautiful woman in that car, I got to buy that car." Or I see that commercial with that woman in there, I got to drink that beer. I mean, or those things. They know that we are free thinkers, so they can't market to free thinking men. And because we're a small minority, we're not affecting the dollar. See, at the end of the day, it's all about the money dollar. So we're not affecting the dollar. So they leave us alone because we're a small group. Whereas if you notice, they attack more guys that have no sense of self, who believe what they see on TV, or like Lucario said earlier that I love using his line. The YouTube streets, they believe the bullshit. They believe the K. It's called kayfabe. And then if you want me,
Mm-hmm.
kayfabe. And if anybody doesn't know kayfabe kind of really got kicked in when Vincent Senior gave the company to Vincent's Jr. Vince McMahon, and
Mm-hmm.
he created kayfabe, where he took people who are regular people, gave them identities, and told them to pretend that this is you. So when the viewer sees you, they're going to think this is you when the lights go out. Like if you're a bad guy, you're a bad guy all the time. You're terrible. You're mean. You kick cats and knock garbage and push old ladies down the thing. But what people found out is that what kayfabe is an act that you portray. It's not really who they are. And what we have today is a lot of kayfabe. We got a lot of guys out there uh, pretending to be dating coaches or saying they know the game, but all they're doing, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but all they're doing is they're really doing harm to these young men. But you have to understand economics and sales. So people are going to gravitate towards easy. And it's easier to go towards somebody that puts the blame on somebody else versus putting the blame on you, because then that forces you to look in the mirror. And a lot of people don't want to do that. So but what people don't understand, that's what helps the economy, because those guys are setting up these young men to, when they get out into the real world, they've got to impress women with dollars. It's like it's a great setup how things are, but again, as men, we just stay on our island. We don't try to force young men to see the truth. If you want to come, we welcome you in open arms, but we don't put a gun to your head, because people are like, oh, well, you don't have a lot of clicks and you don't have a lot of subscribers, and I don't know what to say, but YouTube is not the only income or viewers I have. So, but I mean, that's just a lot of people. If they all about, if you have a high subscriber count, you know what you're talking about, and that's not necessarily true.
So going back to, and I agree with that. Definitely, the money makes the world go around, and a lot of people are just going to go with what sounds like more honky dory and less so more about getting into to the center of the issue and finding out like why you are where you are. So they're gonna placate and say some other things that are unnecessary, or some things that are not necessarily true, kind of deviating away from the truth, and then you end up not being as centered as you should be. because you're just getting like you're like, let's just say here's a center, but like you get this fabrication that's like over here, and then you get a little fabrication over here, but reality you have no idea that you're not even centered.
Mhm.
So Steve, a guy, what does it mean then if the guy has game? What does it mean that a man has game? Because we talk about this all the time on our channels, but I want to know your perspective on my channel. What does it mean a man with game?
It's very simple. You can learn game in doing two simple things: turning on a light switch or turning 5 pages of a book. That's game, and that's how simple it is. Is because
So
as
simple.
your thinking just has to be lined up with your behavior. That's it. And that's all. I mean, it's not, I wish I can give you a more complicated answer, but it's not it. And as easy as it sounds to a lot of people, it's the hardest thing for people to do. That's game. It's all about, it's just a oneness with yourself. And it's just creating and moving for yourself. It's doing for yourself, knowing yourself. That's all it is. It's not the words and phrases and catchphrases and all that shit that you see. That's theory. I mean, that's a lot of theory, but it's not game. And for those that don't understand, and again, it's not a thing about race, because there were white gangsters and excuse me, Japanese emperors and Chinese emperors and things like that who had game. So it wasn't really a black thing. But what people have to understand is that all throughout time, people have always been taking from other races to
Yes.
take their stuff and claim it for their own. I mean, people still think Elvis is the king of rock and roll, because when you think of that, but they don't know about Rosetta. I think it's Rosetta Thorpe. I think her name is. They don't know about her. Or, people thought Blondie was the first one to rap because she was the first person on MTV to rap after she went with Fab Five Freddy to New York to watch rappers. But even with Neil Strauss in the game, it's the same thing. He took a little bit of something and then he just called it game, and it's not even nowhere near game. But people look at it as game because it's written and by the words game. So it's crazy, man.
And it has a lot more publicity than obviously what your message and Lacaria's message is, of course, too. And what's really funny is that, Steve, I did read the book. I was in high school when the book came out. And I remember in one section of the book, Neil Strauss discussed how like Mystery used like games or something, like not like for example playing tricks on girls, but like, well, I'm sure that was actually part of the game that he would say, but
it's suicidal too or some shit.
Yes, yeah, it was something along the lines of that. The guys had like mental issues. Like even Neil Strauss, like even he talks about like he went through like some depression or something like that in the book. What I remember, this one part, Steve, like it felt so inauthentic of me. Neil Strauss was talking about how Mystery applied, let's say, a type of mini game or like some kind of live game you play with a girl to make her like entertained by you or get her all engaged and sexually aroused by something. And I remember, Steve, I'll never forget this. I was in high school, my buddy and I, we took these two girls to the beach. And then it was kind of like an awkward silent moment where we're kind of like, we don't know what to do, right? Just high school kids with like, virtually no game. And then when we're talking to the girls, I remember I said, hey, in my head, I'm thinking like, oh my God, Neil Strauss, like now I can use this special technique that's going to help me engage the girls and I'm going to get a kiss from the girl. And I said, hey, why don't we all just play a game right now? Let's play this game. And I explained the game. They all looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I felt so like my confidence obviously went down. My ego was just like going crazy. And I felt so inauthentic trying to portray what another guy is doing. And it doesn't even work like that. And that's why I resonate with you guys in the whole YouTube space, all your associates, all your colleagues. You guys make the most sense because you're not telling us to behave like Steve the Dean. You're not telling us to behave like Lucario. You're telling us to be us, but you're also helping us add a little bit of flavor, right? Yes. into our communication style. So we're not sounding like nerdy dorks the whole time when we're talking to girls. We sound like guys that fuck. We sound like guys that know how to get girls' pussy wet. Because that's the and I gotta say this too. Do you want to say something in response to what I was just mentioning? I have to mention the two pussies in just a second. Also, that comes from you, of course. But
go ahead. No, go ahead. You're good.
And this is what blew my mind for everybody who's watching this right now. That Steve information, his knowledge blew my mind with this one thing. He said, "A woman has two pussies. Or no, you said how many pussies does a woman have? And you asked me that on the phone. I said, oh yeah, there's only one. What the hell? What kind of obvious question is that? And then you're like, no, there's two. I'm like, what? So Steve, I want you to educate us on why a woman has two pussies.
Well, there's really three, but I'll just go give y'all two.
Oh,
But
okay. There we
there's
go.
really
Go
three, but
ahead.
now I'll just give you two. Uh, you do have, she has a pussy. Okay, yes, but that pussy is not the pussy you go after, and unfortunately, that's what everybody's going after, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't understand that that pussy is connected to her belief system. That way, her morals and her beliefs are in sync with that pussy, and that's why most guys don't get that pussy because they're trying to fight a battle in which you can never win. You can never change somebody's moral compass. That's what they grew up thinking. If she is religious, she's going to have religious, I'm not that kind of girl. I got to meet a guy. We got to date a bunch of times. I don't mess with men who are married. I don't mess with men who have girlfriends. I'm not that kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's her moral compass, which is attached to her pussy. And
Mm-hmm.
so many guys, the majority of the guys, are always trying to beat that or win that war, which you'll never win. But what I learned when I was 9 from my mentor was the different aspects of pussy. See, I in the beginning I thought it was just one, two, until I got punched in the fucking chest and was taught that what her emotions, what is between her ears, unlocks everything. It unlocks everything. So, but in order to unlock that, you've got to stop going for the wrong pussy.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to start working the one here because that it gives you access to everything.
Mm-hmm. So, how does a man who lacks game, lacks sexual experience, how does he tap into, or how does he learn to tap into a woman's mind, understand how it works, and how he can use his own character to find out if she's compatible and she's not a waste of time?
Well, he can't because again, he's tapping into trying. See, again, the problem with a lot of guys is everything they tap into has something to do with a woman versus having a sense of self. Like I've always said, if you want that answer, it's about learning you. It's not about learning her. She's not that special to learn her. I'm special.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to learn me and how I move for myself. And if she likes me or she doesn't like me, it's none of my fucking business because she's allowed to think what the fuck she wants. I don't care. I just don't care. I've never cared. I've only care about me. So, but see, saying that to someone is like I remember it was around 2002. I was invited to a boot camp and they had me call in and the guys are in there, and these guys are talking about all these gimmicks and stuff. And they say, "All right, Steve, why don't you tell them some game?" I said, "Love yourself." They were like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, love yourself." Wait, what is he? What is he talking about? What do you mean? How's that going to give me women? And see, but but even deeper than what I'm saying right now, the truth is, in order to understand that, you got to become what we call a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You must be a student of the game. You just can't see people think it's like putting on a coat or putting on a hat. You know what I mean? And they think that they can learn what we teach in a day. I mean, I've been doing this I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. I'm 50 now. So for 41 years of my life, I've been doing this and I'm still scratching the surface of me. I'm still scratching the surface of me. So you're definitely not going to learn this in a day, but being a student of the game can move you faster is when you have to humble yourself, which a lot of guys you notice cannot do, push
Mm-hmm.
your ego aside, which a lot of guys can't do,
Mm-hmm.
and be willing to learn and be willing to get knocked down and punched in your chest to understand. Because if it's funny, if my mentor were to come out and help guys, he's worse than me. I'm a sweetheart compared to what my mentor did to me. call me bitch, shut your fucking bitch ass up, you mother, get your bitch. I mean, all that shit. Punch me in my chest, all that shit, man. I mean, it was just how what, man? You fuck weak bitch, you fuck boy, all that shit. But I was learning and I kept
Mhm.
learning. And I'm still learning. Even though I teach, I'm still a student of the game because I'm still soaking in because I'm always evolving. So it just never stops, man.
I love it. And you also have you have a family, and I love how you're very proud of your children. You're always posting pictures of them. What has been the most rewarding thing being a father? Because I also want to have a family. I want to have children as well. What would you say has been the most rewarding part of being a father?
Duplicating me.
Yeah.
It's- that is it. It's duplicating me. It's my arrogance. That's the best thing. Looking at mini me's. That's it.
Mhm.
Watching mini me's do mini me shit that I used to do as mini me. Yeah, that's all. It's that's the most rewarding thing. But no, but them being self-sufficient. But it's just, I mean, that's how I created it. I mean, that's how I create I create my world. So I my arrogance, I mean, family is not I would never try to tell people to have families, and I would never tell people to get married. That's not my because I don't believe people should tell people not to get married, and I don't believe people should tell people to get married. I don't that's
Agreed.
why I don't ever
Agreed.
want to tell a man not to, but I don't even want to tell a man to. But I
Mhm.
will say if you're thinking about it, only do it if you want to start a family. Other than that, don't do it at all.
Mhm. When you and a question I have is one thing I think I'm a very much of a long-term thinker. I'm always thinking about like if I were to have children, let's just say there was a conflict, right? That I wanted to explain something to them, right?
Mm,
Your ideology or your belief in yourself and your belief of the world, right?
yes.
Is to the public. Steve, let's be honest, they're gonna be like, oh, you're so arrogant, oh, you're so this, you're so that, right? Now, so here's the thing though, hear me on this. When you have children, right, and they're gonna go to the school system, I don't know if they're like homeschool or whatever the
Oh, yeah,
situation
go
is.
to school. Go to school.
Okay, so when they're going to school, I'm sure your children probably have faced some kind of conflict from other kids saying like, "Oh, you're so selfish" or whatever. I mean, or like, or even yourself when you're, maybe around the teachers, or I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out like how is it that how are you combat this, or how do you handle a situation like that where like the school system's against you and your children, for example. Not saying, by the way, guys, this is not happening. It's a hypothetical. I'm just asking because I'm curious because I think the way Steve does as well. How do you
Well,
go about that when defending your family against the world that is saying you're this, you're that, and all that?
is what my dad did to me. Uh, every, going to McDonald's. This is what a Williams does. Walking. This is how a Williams walks. This is how a Williams orders ice cream. This is how a Williams turns the TV on. This is a Williams. So that's all I did is I transferred that to my kids. That I've luckily given them a fuck the world attitude where they just don't give a fuck. I mean they give a fuck, but they don't care what people think about them because they've been taught that their value is not based off of what someone thinks, and that's just it. And that's what I try to teach my client. I just don't give. I mean, listen. Everybody's allowed to hate me, and everybody's allowed to love me, and everybody's allowed to be indifferent. It's none of my
Mhm.
business, and I'm not being a dick about it, but it's none of my business. I appreciate those that like me, but it's none of my business what you feel because I I move regardless of what you think. So because I don't move off of end results, and that's the mindset that draws women in because they want to crack. They're always trying to crack your code. You know what I mean? So, but for the kids and stuff, no, man, they just look. You get your ass to school, do what you're supposed to do. If there's a problem, we'll cover that shit. We got your back. As long as you do what the fuck you're supposed to do, we'll go to the school. We'll hash that shit out. We'll take care of business. That's all it is. So you always got it back. Also, if someone don't start fights and everything like that, but if a motherfucker picks on you, you whip that motherfucker's ass. And after you get done being suspended, I'm gonna take you out for ice cream. We'll get some video games and we're gonna have a great fucking time because I'm not gonna knock you for defending who you are. So don't let anybody talk shit to you. Don't let anybody put any hands on you because it's not their right to touch you. No, but don't start shit. Don't start.
Mhm.
So it's just, but see that again, it's it's like everything I learn, everything I teach is not
It's not
complicated
complicated.
at
Nope.
all, man. It's
Nope.
really easy. It's really easy.
I was just literally gonna compliment on that and say like it's a very simple thing actually what you just said, and I'm glad you just see even like that's why I love doing this podcast because I learned from you guys every single time whenever I have you on the show. Lucario in 1950, I had like a therapy session in 1950. It was like a low key therapy session. I didn't even realize it. And he was, and even when a King Drake came on my channel last week, like he was just helping me with at the end. So it was really good. And I have a Bernie has a question. He's saying, I don't know, I don't understand the question. Maybe you do. He's saying, what is the Zen master's story about throwing a punch? Do you understand what he's
Yeah, I
asking?
understand. Yeah, that's now that's in the product. Can't talk about that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So let's take that away. Steve, I asked 1950 this question. I would like to know your response as well.
Sure.
I want to know, why is it that a lot of guys suck with game? And I always recite this on my Instagram stories. Thanks to you and Lakar, you guys always talk about this. Majority of motherfuckers, like, they suck with game and they're horrible.
Yeah.
Has this been throughout history that guys sucked with game, or is it that like just recently or in recent time?
It's been throughout history. Okay, be. I'll go to nature with the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, please do. I love your stories, man. I love your stories. Right, Father time right now.
yeah. So, but if you look at nature, there's just one alpha. It's it. There's just one. I mean, and everybody else falls behind the wayside. So it's just a thing that sometimes you just have to stay in your lane. It's not that you're not bad with women. You just choose not to get better. See, I don't believe anybody's bad with women. You're not bad in anything until you get off your lazy fucking ass and start to learn. I mean, you could be bad at driving or don't know how to drive, but you got off your lazy ass and learn how to drive. You were bad at counting numbers, bad at arithmetic, bad at algebra, whatever. You learn people. Well, because of today, because of the feminine shit that people are doing, always looking for the excuse. It's not that people are bad with women. You're not bad with women. You choose to be what you are. Shout out to my dog Alfie. Much love to my dog.
Yeah, shout out to Alfie. Thank you, Alfie.
Shout out Alfie. But yeah, you choose to be what you are, and that's what it's the hardest pill to swallow because nobody wants to put the flashlight on themselves. It's not women. It's not the women. It's nothing. It's the choice that you make, because everything's your choice. You can stay where you're at, but you can't blame women for where you're at. It's never there. It's no one's fault out there. And that's what those motherfuckers are fucking these guys up, because they're taking the fault and blame from them and then attach the umbilical cord to them where they're more emotional. But it's not that you have a choice. You can either be what you are or not. But let me say this one thing, because I always tell guys all the time, Steve, I sometimes can do this and I sometimes can do that, right? And I'm like, no, you can't do it at all. Wait, what do you mean? Well, Steve, I know how to talk to women on the phone, but I can't text them. Well, then you can't do it. You can't talk to them on the phone. Well, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is that who is the fucking common denominator out of what you do? If you're on the phone, you're texting, you can put a note on a dove. Who's the common denominator? You are. And if you're see, this is what people don't need to understand. This is how simple it is. You either are or you're not. That's it. Because when we're, like I always say, when we're sick, we don't go to a sometimes doctor. When we want to fly somewhere, we don't go to get in a airplane with a sometimes pilot. We don't do that at all. So why do people think because they do it sometimes that means anything? That doesn't mean shit in the game, man. You either are doing it or you're not. And if you're doing it sometimes, you're still not doing it, my brother.
Jesus Christ, that was some deep ass shit, and it's so simple at the same time.
Yes.
Steve, your father was very important in your life. I see you post pictures of him, and also he's a stud. This guy, your father was
he's an asshole. I mean, you see you see where I get the personality. That motherfucker, yeah, the old man, yeah.
What would you say was the biggest? I know your father probably gave you a lot of great life lessons, but what's one that stood out for you the most, that you just look at your dad and you're like, Dad, thank you so much for teaching this to me, and now I can share this knowledge with guys like Cameron, for example, guys around the world that need help from you and other people.
Same thing. Just show me I was a Williams. That's it. Just just showing me my neck. That's what I'm saying. My name is all I got. My name. That's my basis of everything I do for me. It's my name. My dad is an arrogant motherfucker. He used to be a ladies' man and all that other stuff. It just his name. It's just my name. That's all he fed down my throat was you're Williams. I'm Ted Williams. I'm Ted Williams. I'm Ted Williams. And that's just, I get it now. You know, when I was a kid, like, goddamn, Dad, I'm telling you, don't say your motherfucking name. But now I get it because a lot of young men, the majority of them, don't know the weight that their name holds. See, most people, I've always said this. See, a lot of these young men today, they don't understand now. We all came to the Americas. We all came to the Americas or our ancestors, not us. Our ancestors came to the Americas on a boat. Some of us were above the boat. Some of us came below the boat. But we got here, and so yes, we did take masters' names and all that other stuff, but there was something in your ancestors that knew the importance of name because they wanted to transfer not only the name but their information to push the bloodline, to push the name through your great grandfather and all the way down to your grandfather, to your father, to you. And now we're at a point where your name means nothing because you would rather take your name that your ancestors, some got lynched, killed, shot, and whatever happened to them because of their name, to throw that shit away and put Red Pill Mike or to put High Value Man James or some shit like this. Yeah. It's amazing to me how these men don't know that they can't carry the name, and the name is everything. I'm sorry, answer your question. Your name is everything. It's your name, man. Your name.
Is there anything, Steve, just to go into the red pill, is there anything in the red pill that you believe is valid, or you see that it has like anything? There's nothing at all that you're just kind of like, I agree with this. I don't believe in the information as a whole. I don't believe in the whole. Is there anything at all?
Well, the check peep game. I ride my cake ass bike. You follow me. You probably see I ride my bike 5 miles. I ride my bike. And I just, something dawned on me, and I asked myself a question. I asked the people, well, what would you do if there was no Matrix? There was no Matrix. What would you do? What would you be if there was no Matrix? See, we're going off of a movie script. Wait, I don't think y'all heard me. You're going off of a movie script that was, I think a woman wrote that shit. I think a woman wrote I think it was written by a woman. So, again, I understand the unplugged. I get that. But are you really taking a red pill? Because if you are really taking a red pill, you wouldn't be following these motherfuckers like you're following them. If you really, because basically in that movie, when you take that red pill, it gives you a truth. When did women being shit became a truth, or single mothers being bad a truth, or all this stuff being a truth? Listen, we all have our own truth. I don't push my truth on anybody, nor you should have the right to push your truth on me. But that's what they're doing. They're pushing a truth through either fear or statistics. And I'm not a stat. I don't believe in that statistic shit because I'd break the mold on that shit. Fuck those stats, man. And I don't believe it. So there's nothing about it. Listen, I believe that when a man frees himself, kind of your case in point, when you kept getting punched in your motherfucking chest by me, and it's not my, I can't take the accolades for you changing, but you freed your mind. I didn't free you. You freed your mind. And when you're free, you become a single minded man when you're free. And when you're single minded, you don't beat to the rhythm of somebody else's drum.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, I mean, again, the thing about that red pill, yes, when you take it and you actually free yourself, man, you wouldn't be doing the shit you're doing right now. But that's the problem. It's not a freedom, it's a false sense of freedom through fear. Peep game. Yes.
And I would say that that's a very good perspective of it. I think I would agree with that, because here's the funny thing is that the person that freed me, the person who freed me and has allowed me, mentally freed me from, all the bullshit of life and all the lies and, whatever misconceptions I've had. Well, it was you that impacted me to help me, maybe get there. But I'm the one that made the decision to free myself from the bullshit, because there are still guys that listen to Steve, right? There's still guys that listen to Steve, that still listen to Lucario, still listen to anyone on the Real Game No Theory panel, but they're still battling you guys on the phone every time. So that just proves the point right there. That's literally case in point right there.
I always love to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you need the red pill to reach the egg? Did you need YouTube to reach the egg? Did you need hypergamy to reach the egg? No fap, fucking high value man, and all that silly shit. You did. So if you didn't need those things to reach the egg, then why the fuck do you need them now?
And another thing people got to think, and very true, and another people have to realize too, Steve, is that the red pill content creators, they have an agenda too. They have money to be made as well. And what I call it, it's really funny, because once I did embark and go through the whole red pill journey for myself, I realized that, okay, now that I have this information, like, it's time for me to move on. Like, I was part of a public speaking club, and I feel like I got the benefits I needed, I got the leadership I need, and now it's time for me to move on to something else. So I call these guys red pill. They're in the red pill gulag, where literally they're unemotional red pill robots, where all they do is they recite the rational male, they rehearse every single line. Even their character is now tainted by just being a robot. They don't show emotion. They don't show passion. And when they talk to these women, I saw a ridiculous meme one time where, like, it shows this guy saying, "How are you?" The first thing he says is, "How do you keep a man in your life?" That's the first thing he asks a woman. How do you keep a man in your life? And she's like, "Hello, how about it? Hi, how are you? Like, how's it going? How's your day going?" Or something. Even though that may not be the most optimal thing to say on a dating app right away, but still, the fact that he's saying immediately, "How do you plan to keep a man?" And then he starts rehearsing something along the lines of what Fresh and Fit say, which is, the whole high value academy thing or whatever it is. They just start saying all these things that is just like robot, 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 robot. And it's not, I can tell that that's not even his character. It's not even him really. Deep down, that's not what he really is trying to say. He's just, his only game, his only knowledge of communicating with women is to say rational male excerpts and biblical verses of the I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
Let's look at a double negative. This is how silly it is. I mean, sometimes some people are so far in the forest they can't see the trees. Let's look at a double negative.
Mm-hmm.
Rational male.
Mm-hmm.
Rational. Men are not rational. Why isn't it man? Why is it male? I am not a male and I'm not rational. Mm-hmm. But it's a double negative, and you don't even see, you can't see. See, what people don't understand is that even though things change, they still remain the same. And they don't understand that this is just another form of the seduction community back in the 90s and the early 2000s with the pickup artists. That's all. It's just another form of it. And a lot of people don't see it because, it's kind of like rap music today. You bring up, like, hey, you listen to LL Cool J, Run DMC. Who the fuck are those things? I listen to J. Cole and I listen to, Eminem, blah, 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 right? I don't listen to those old school guys, man. They were old. Well, if you ask them about the seduction community, they're like, well, I don't know about that. That's not new, but it does, because what they are now is what those guys were back then. Very open and very impressionable to a lot of bullshit. And they always follow, because they always had layers. So they always followed the herd. It was a herd mentality. It's what's going on here, herd mentality. But again, the free thinking man, he thinks and starts to ask himself the question, wait a second, when did all this women enemy shit start? Because it didn't start then. It wasn't until I've always gave you the history lesson. It wasn't until 2007 it started. It's odd. So people think the world started in 2007. Before 2007, I guess everything was either in black and white, or we were just atoms floating in water or some shit, like little micros. So people think there wasn't a world or things happening before 2007, and that's the gullible guy. But again, the one that rations shit out and the one that can't stand as a man. You're following. Now, look, I don't judge men, and I'll never would judge a men. But as men, you can tell guys that can fucking get pussy by the swag that they have. And some of these motherfuckers, how do you even think they can get pussy by the goofy shit they say? But again, they always used to have a saying, the white man's ice is a little bit colder, meaning that a lot of young men are going to follow white guys. Black guys are going to follow black guys, depending on, the N words versus the regular black guys or whatever. So what you got to understand is a lot of guys follow these guys because he's like me. Just like I always say, you should never listen to young motherfuckers who don't know shit, because young motherfuckers can only teach you young shit because they haven't become old motherfuckers that can teach you old shit. But a lot of people think because they're young that they have all the answers to everything, and they don't have the answers to anything.
So, Steve, one important question I want to ask you regarding the putting yourself first, right? And then a lot of times on your guys' channel, you guys say, let's say, like, these bitches ain't shit, right?
Yeah,
and then we're saying that because you're making it about yourself and you're the center of the universe, right?
Absolutely.
So then how does, and by the way, this is just I'm genuinely curious about this. How is that different from, let's say, red pill content creators saying like she belongs to the streets, or like the girls are the enemy or something like that? How's that different? I've been always curious about that when you guys like say that.
What I'm trying to tell, I'm trying to show guys that a woman isn't shit until she proves herself to me.
Yes.
And she is nothing but a perk because she has no movement in my world. She has to earn it. Sexy is what sexy does. And unfortunately, what I feel so bad for these young men, because they don't realize that they're still they're devolving as they're getting older. As they're getting older, devolving, because they think that sexy is looks, but they don't realize they fall in love, or they fall in fear with makeup. It's only makeup, tight clothes, push-up bras, and wigs. That's all it is. That is all it is. And they fall in love with that. And the reason why I say they ain't shit, because the women know they ain't shit. These women know they're walking lies because they're insecure. They know when they wake up, they look in that mirror and they know they ain't shit, because they think their value is tied into what? Makeup, weave, fake eyes, fake nails, tight clothes. That's their value, or Botox, or what's plastic
lip injections, for example. Yeah.
Yes, all that stuff. So I'm saying they ain't shit because they know they ain't shit. But see, every woman ain't shit until I say she is the shit, but she's got to prove that to me. You don't get a pass just because you have a round ass and you look sexy. You don't get a pass into my universe. That might get my curiosity, but what are you doing to get my attention? What are you doing to be worth my time? What are you doing to make me fall into respect? What are you doing to show me that you're worth the dick? But see, that's what I'm saying. See, I'm not saying I will never knock or smash women. I'm just telling you a truth. They know they ain't shit. They know they ain't shit. You turn on your TV tomorrow morning and the TV will even tell them they ain't shit. wear this to make your hair silky, put that on to lose the old crow's feet and all that. They
Damn.
even tell you that. So when I say they
That
ain't
was it.
yeah, when I say they ain't shit, I'm not saying hate them
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not trying to knock them. I'm just saying that you haven't proved that you are shit to me until you prove that you are the shit to me. Again, me.
And Steve, one of a consistent compliment I've received from women in the past, they've told me ever since going through coaching and listening to your guys' calls, they would tell me that you bring soul into my life, like through your dick and also your character, like you bring soul, and you have also made me feel more complete. Like even the girls in my rotation, because I'm monogamous now, I have a girlfriend, but like even the women that I had to cut off out of my rotation, they all said thank you afterwards.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your transparency. And these are the words that you use all the time. And I also, and this is something I believe in deep down. It's not like Steve told me, hey, Cam, make sure you do exactly what I tell you, or you're not going to have game or some shit like that. It's like, these are just it's just being a good man, having a good character, right? Having a good, go ahead.
No, no. You're right. It's so simple. It's just complicated. It's too it is as simple as like a light switch. It's so easy, but because it's so easy, it's unbelievable. It can't be that easy. It just can't be that easy. And that's the problem. I will never tell a guy to mimic me or be me. You can't do that. And I stress that all the time. But yet, you notice they're trying to be somebody else by regurgitating words from other people. And that's the thing. See, one thing people got to understand is that I could kill it. If I said anything, if I just put pill or women ain't shit or anything like that in my titles or tag words or even started talking about that, I'd blow the fuck up because but I can't do that. I can't lie to these young men. And again, I love being we're a small group, a small circle. I love that and shit. I'm cool with that. But it's just it's so easy that these young men will never understand how easy it is because they never put themselves first, and they don't even know how. They think they're putting themselves first, but it's like they're getting set up. I always say, I always say, on the top of the mountain, the top of the mountain, these are all the people up there. You got our guys up there. You have women, and you have all them fucking liars up there, the PUAs and the red pill mother, all them motherfuckers up there. You have marketers and advertisers, and everybody's feeding off of the bottom feeders. But the thing is, we don't feed. We try to show them how to eat. We don't feed off of them. We show them how to eat. But everybody else, they don't understand that those other guys are working together. The guys that give you bad information are only marking you for the woman who is going and also marking you for the company. Because at the end of the day, these guys are always going to feel like they're going to have to come off their wallet and to spend money, trick their money off. And listen, if you are building your body for a woman, you're tricking. If you're wearing clothes for a woman, you're tricking. If you're anything you do. Now, listen, I will give you a pass in high school because you're in high school. I'll give you a pass because some guys in high school, what they do, they get the nice cars, they get the rims, and they get the bass in their cars or those fat ass pipes make all that damn noise and shit. I understand that in high school because you're a fucking kid. I get it. But when you become an adult, you got to put those toys away because if anything you're doing that is about you trying to draw a woman to you that is not inside of you is tricking. And they don't understand. They don't get that. The women. Have you ever seen Jennifer Lopez's The Hustle?
I have not seen The Hustle. No.
You got to watch. There was two movies. One with Anne Hathaway, which you got to watch, and Jennifer Lopez came out with one, and it's nothing but game.
Was that the stripper movie?
Yes, it's a stripper one.
Okay.
where they were running game. And I've always told guys about this, but Jennifer Lopez finally showed you where I say women have enough game where they pass you on to other women and get a percentage. So let me give you an example. Say I'm the bitch. I say me. So if she's using me for my money, and I finally get wind of it after 5 years, all of a sudden when she knows she's on her way out, she'll get her best friend to come on in, but she'll get a 10%, she'll get 10% off the top of whatever she gets from that guy because she brought that woman in. And they showed you that in that movie. I've been always talking about that, but they showed you in the movie that they will pass you off to the next woman, but they still getting paid on the side, and that's game. So, like for instance, they would say, "Well, you know what? He's starting to learn about me. So you know what? He works out at this gym, or he's going to be at this place at this time. So what I want you to do is I want you to bump into him. This is what I want you to talk about. And once you get your shifts in him and he starts giving you money, I get 10% off the top. Deal. So then that woman, once you transfer, stop paying this woman A, you're still paying her 10% on the back end from woman number 2. But see, that's game. That's the game women play on the average sucker, but it goes back to the economy again. It's part of how the game works. So it's deep.
Primal Studies saying, I love getting wisdom from the OGs. They've seen things and done things. Appreciate the insight, Steve the Dean. Thank you so much, Primal Studies.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And Bernie saying the willingness to learn is important. Absolutely. How else are you going to grow in this world if you're not willing to learn? And make sure you guys go on the manmindset.com. That's Steve's website.
Thank you.
And Steve will change your life as he did for me. And Bernie saying the world's a big strip club. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, it's just like a lot of, people are you're either pimping or you're getting pimped. It's one of the two.
Well, yeah, I want to say, because I don't want to disrespect the pimps. No, I was a gigolo. I don't disrespect pimps. I'm just saying that it's just man or not. That's it.
Yeah, man or not. Mm-hmm.
Again, you could be a good guy, but women don't want good guys. They want men. But see, men are good guys that have standards, and a lot of guys don't have standards. Their standard is based off of the woman's standard, and that's the problem. Or their standard is based off of the YouTuber that tells them what their standard is. So it's so sad that what these guys are going through, because eventually they're going to have a midlife crisis. Because eventually, see what young kids don't know today is that they have a good metabolism. They can eat anything they want, and that shit's going to whip her off and all this other stuff. But those guys out there, because again, I'm not judging McJuggers. So I'm just giving you some game here. For the guys that drink, the guys that smoke, the guys that do recreational drugs at a young age, that shit is going to catch up to you like tanning does a woman eventually, because what's going to happen is you're going to need some type of medicine for whatever it is you used to do when you were young and then that medicine are going to have side effects. Some you might lose your hair. Some you might have erectile dysfunction problems. It's just, it's a weird thing. It's a trade-off, but a lot of young men don't understand that. And, listen, it's sad when young men say, well, you know what, she's hit the wall and all that shit, as if you ain't gonna hit the fucking wall. Bro, let me tell you something. We're all gonna hit the fucking wall. I'm sorry. We're all going to hit the wall in our own way. And it's not, and again, I don't knock women that are older. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? They some had their time, some have a bunch of cats, but I can't knock what we're going to become. I'm not going to say we're going to become women. I'm just saying we're going to hit the wall. These young boys think they're going to be young forever, and they don't understand what a midlife crisis is. That midlife crisis is that when they realize that for fucking 20 years or how many years of their life, they've been learning all that bullshit to realize that shit ain't the real thing, and they've wasted their life away. They've wasted a chance to have a family. They wasted a chance to even get married, which you don't remember. I told you don't have to. I'm just saying. I'm not. And again, please understand, this is not to scare anybody. I don't use fucking fear tactics. I'm just saying, I have clients that are literally in tears sometimes because they're like, oh, I cannot believe I trusted those guys. And look where I'm at right now. I have nothing to. I have nothing. I'm gonna die a lonely man. Which isn't. Listen, dying alone is. I mean, I'm not. That's not a bad thing. But their loneliness is different because they who's gonna take care of you? You guys do understand. I don't think they understand how deep it is. You do understand one day somebody's gonna have to take care of your ass.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
Hey, I'm just telling you the truth. And I know they want one day somebody's gonna take care of you. You either gonna be taken care of in a home or you're gonna be by yourself dying alone because you have no siblings, no children to take care of you, or no wife to look and wipe your ass and clean up your fucking piss when you're young.
Yep.
But again, I mean, again, that's how deep is deep. But again, I'm not trying to scare young men. It's just that I get clients all the time that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they're like, I just go to the park just to watch families because I used to believe that it wasn't important to have a wife. It wasn't important to have kids. It just all that shit that they told me. I can't believe I believed them, and I can't believe I followed them, and I feel like such a fool. And they start welling up and start crying. And you got to talk to these guys and tell them it's okay. You can't. You just got to understand these are the cards. You played your hand. And you were at the wrong blackjack table because you believe motherfuckers who aren't even married. You believe motherfuckers who can't get pussy. You believe motherfuckers who can't even control a motherfucking woman tell you. That's like, real quick, I'm sorry, running my mouth, but that's like
no, you're good. Keep going, bro.
Yeah, that's like how women we always talk about why do single women listen to their lonely ass friends and shit. It's the same thing. You're listening to people that are not experienced. And just listen, just because it happened to you doesn't mean it's going to happen. When did that rule apply? When did that rule apply if you eat, I shit for you? When did that rule apply? It doesn't apply. But again, that's the scare tactic. It happened. Look, it happened to Dr. Dre. Wait a second. Did you motherfuckers read that letter that Dr. Dre wrote that woman about all that cupcake and shit before they got married? They don't know about it. They say, no, Steve, don't tell them about Dr. Dre. We're just trying to show them that if I know they don't have Dr. Dre's money, but see, if it happens to Dr. Dre, it happens to you. Oh, hey, look what happened to Jeff Bezos. Look, he lost billions of dollars. But wait a second. If you know business 101, if that woman shuffles or fouls one piece of paper, that means she's part of the company. And she was married when Amazon was nothing. No one can determine how big a company is going to blow up. No one can make that determination. But Amazon blew up and they got divorced. So the rules of the law, she gets half that money. But people are telling guys who are living paycheck to paycheck, who have nothing to offer, nothing to show that, oh my God, if you see a woman, it's going to have you. And last one thing I want to say is the kids thing. Well, you know what? She for the streets and, these single mothers ain't shit. These single mothers ain't shit. As if a woman, like a dinosaur, impregnates herself and becomes a single mother or excuse me, the immaculate conception. Like she has an immaculate conception where all of a sudden she wakes up one day and she's pregnant. Do we not understand that sometimes, all single mothers are not equal. There never can be equal. How can Vanessa Bryant be a bad single mother because her husband died in a tragic accident? See, that shows single mothers are different. There are guys out there that want pussy so bad that they lie to women. I'll give you the world, and they just want the pussy, have unprotected sex, and get her pregnant. And then there's some guys out there that they don't talk about, the ones that poke holes in the rubber because they're like, if I don't want to lose her, so I think if I get her pregnant and I can keep her. See, they don't talk about those guys. So, but I'm gonna shut up. But I'm just saying that.
No, you're good. See, this is great.
So much
Please,
deeper. It's so much deeper, man.
It is. It is. That's why it was like I remember I was on the phone with you for probably about I think it was like one time. I remember I came back from work and it was like I was on the phone with you probably for about 30 minutes. You're explaining KFAB to me actually for the first time. And no, I think that that's a very good point in the whole midlife crisis. So a midlife crisis then is a result of a man not knowing himself. Then is a man not being centered with himself. Would you say that is like him being misled? Is that what a midlife crisis
No,
would
a
result in?
midlife crisis is when you wake up and realize, oh shit, I'm on the other half of my life. Like you're like, oh shit, what have I done with my life? What have I done in my 20s and what have I done with my oh shit, I'm getting old and shit. My body's not working the way it's not working, and I'm not moving as fast, and my metabolism is going, and I'm losing my hair, and my dick is not getting hard, and my heart's in trouble, and I got cholesterol buildup, and I mean, it's a ton of different things for a ton of different people, but it's really feeling like you've missed out on life where you've got to try to recreate it at that age. That's why you see a lot of sometimes old guys with that nice Ferrari, a fast moving car, because they want to hold on, like women, they want to hold on to that youth. They want to hold on. And when they realize it's gone, when they realize the youth is gone, then they really freak the fuck out, man.
Well, I want to ask, and then we're going to get to primal studies question in just a moment. I wanted to ask you this. So, what is it that a man, let's just say, like I'm 31 years old. So,
Yes.
what should a man like me in my 30s or guys in their 20s, for example, that are now being directed to your guidance or your coaching, right? Like your information that you give out. What actionable steps should we be taking to make sure that we are living the life that is right for us and that is a life of abundance for us? Like where we're in tune with who we are and we're not, being swayed by the outside noise.
What action? Okay, okay. I kind of talked about this when I did a ride with the dean earlier this morning. The action you should take is through your world, your universe, your scribe, your marketing team, your studio, your culinary school, your government, your photo lab, your drug lab, all these things that you have inside your mind. You've got to be one with those things. That's how you move. You move. Matter of fact, as I was talking about it, and people kind of laughed at, but I was serious that the ego that tells you you're no good, tells you you ain't this and that motherfucker should be your secretary. Like when you wake up, he should have a list of things that your itinerary. He should be like, okay, you know what? Hey, we got to shit, shower, and shave today, right? And while you brush your teeth, well, looks like you got a 9 o'clock, but you know what? Vanessa did send you a message. So when you get a chance, go ahead and hit Vanessa up. I know she wants to come over, but you know what? I think Tammy's coming over tonight at 8 o'clock. So we might have to push Vanessa back to maybe tomorrow. So we got to make sure that's how your mind should be working for you. Your mind that's when you're one with yourself, because you're only out for yourself. That's it. So it doesn't matter how old you get, but hopefully eventually you'll realize how great you are and what you can bring to the world. And it's great when you are one with yourself and you know that, you know what, I can bring a positive person into this world that could probably change the world. Because what's funny, people don't realize in your sperm, you might have the next president of the fucking United States in your sperm. You might have the next guy to create time or time to go into time. You
Time
don't
machine, yeah. Yeah.
you don't know what your sack holds, and you can see when you die, because we're all going to die. You can leave something behind instead of being a John Doe. You can keep your thing going and keep your name going like your ancestors did. So, but again, I'm not trying to tell people to do it. It's just something to think about as you get older, because once you do the orgies, once you do the threesomes, the swinging, when you have husbands, sit in the corner and watch you fuck their wives. I mean, what else left is there to do? I mean, you've gone through all your women, you've gone through all the different countries, you've gone through the religions. You've done it all. What is left to do? I mean, so it's at that point. I mean, it's going to sound crazy, but you're going to begin to get bored with doing all those things over and over again. Yeah, they're fun for now. You know, it's funny. I always tell women, and they throw them off. It's like, well, what is something about you that you don't like about yourself? Because I hate them. They even ask me that because I don't interview bitches, but I say, well, my biggest problem is I cut women off when I get bored. Wait, what? Yeah, I get bored with women. Wait. What do you mean you get bored with women? Well, you go get bored with me. Well, I'm not saying I'm not gonna get bored with you. It's just that when I feel that there's nothing that's if there's nothing there, I get bored, and if I get bored, you just don't get my time, or you get cut off, and it fucks their head up. And I don't do it as a tactic. I'm honest. I get bored. I truly I can be naked with a woman and just be like, I could be messing around with and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah. And I know it sounds
It's
crazy.
true. No, it's true because I've been in that position before. And I'm
Right.
just
So
kind of like, why am I even doing this? Like, I'm,
why am I even doing this? Why
yeah.
am I here, man? I could be playing a video game.
I should be writing my book right now. I'm just like, why am I even having sex?
Yeah, I should be doing something. Yeah, I should be mining for gold or something. I should be doing something, but I'm here. You know what? I'm gonna go. Well, what's wrong? It's nothing. It's just I'm so into me that anything else other than me will eventually bore me if it doesn't bring anything into my life to excite me. If that makes any sense.
Oh, makes absolute sense. And I'm gonna say this as a recent student who I'm still a student in the game, but I'm saying as a person who has received this information recently, I'm gonna tell you right now, your parents are going to be against you.
Yes.
Potentially. Yeah. And most likely they will. Your friends. Oh, I've lost so many friends because of the way I think now. But you know what? I have mental freedom and I will choose that. And I will associate with people that think along with me. And that's all that matters. I have achieved that. I'm not scared of anything anymore. In fact, Steve, I've always said this. I'm set for life. All I want to do is just get rich now. And I want to build money. I want to build my business. I want to, grow in cryptocurrency. I want to just, get better and write a book. Like now it's so much about me that, and you know, what's funny is that I've been told I've been arrogant. So everyone who's watching this, you're going to be told you're arrogant. You're going to be told you're a selfish prick.
Yes.
And you're going to be told you're a dick. But I'm like, you know what? It's all about me. And if I don't satisfy myself first, how the hell can I provide value to the world? How can I bring value to others?
Right.
There's no way.
Right. Yeah, there's absolutely no way. I love it. Death to me is saying you're sweet, you're kind. Now, don't get it wrong. I treat women. I'm a smooth motherfucker, so I know how to treat a woman, and women love the way I treat them, and they love that. They hate. They know their time. They have a time clock. It's like we meet. It's like, here you go, hold this clock. And they know there's a time limit because I'm going to move. Because I'm evolving. I'm always moving. So I'm never standing still. And you're a woman. You're always going to stand still. And the times are great. And when you got to let them go, it's not hard. It's just a truth that you got to cut through the tears, the crying, and all that other shit, and understand that. Look, go find some. I'll never find a you. Well, you would never. I know you won't find another me, but go forth and find a man, but the pussy will always be yours. You can always have it. I love you. I don't give a fuck what I'm doing. I want to be with, and I don't mean to be a dick about that shit, but I'm just evolved. It's the scariest thing, and I won't say scary. I don't want to say scary. It's the amazing thing is when you unlock you begin to see shit that sometimes you just wish you didn't see because it just gives you a view of the world that you're like, damn, I didn't need to see that.
That's so
I
true.
I didn't need to see that. You just don't know. I always say there are things you know, the things you don't know, and there are things you don't know that you don't even know. And I'm talking about don't even know that you don't even know. That when you learn that that you didn't know, and you start to learn that, it's gonna blow your mind because people don't like. I used to play that Kevin Spacey clip from the House of Cards. Remember he talked about there's here, but then there's another here that's like kind of in conjunction with us. And if you look at it right now, as we're doing, like, we are running with nature right now. I mean, right now we're in a bubble with nature. We're in a place where nature just is moving. Nature is just doing this. Nature isn't Facebooking, tweeting, and all that other. There's no like lion tube or anything like that. You know what I mean? Nature's just moving. We're also in the same area, same system with nature, and that is a moving thing. And but once you unlock you'll see that there are a million moving things. People don't understand, like people don't understand power. People don't understand and the truth. The presidency is not the power. The top 10, I think it's the 5 families or 10 families. They don't even know about the families that's running this shit. There are so many things that are going on that when you see it, because there are pockets of secret societies.
Mhm.
And people don't even understand that. People don't and I'm allegedly came from one, but I'm just saying that secret societies are all over the place. There are so many things right now as we speak. Probably you're next door there right now. There's an orgy going on right next door, and you don't even know it. I mean, there are so many things that are happening that when you see the world with your real new set of eyes, and that's that period, when you see the truth, oh man, it changes everything. It changes how you see everything. It may change how you see religion. It may change how you see politics. It may change how you see, but that's how deep game is, because the more layers you open up and the more things you see, the more powerful also you become. Because you become an untouchable. See, there are untouchable. See, guys, y'all don't understand. There are people in this world right now that can pick up a phone and you could be gone. That's how powerful
Mhm.
it is. And you won't even know why. They will, man. Like real quick, have you ever seen Michael Clayton with what's that motherfucker's name? Who's that guy? The actor. I forgot. It was a movie called Michael Clayton. Who was the guy that did Ocean's 11? What's his name? George
Oh,
Clooney.
George Clooney.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he did say like something Michael. I think it's Michael Clayton or something. Oh man, they just showed that shit. Man, they want to get rid of motherfucker. They busted in this room, knocked him out. Then they took a needle and poked it between his an area between his toes where nobody can see that, and he was gone. People don't understand there, but here's the why I'm saying that. You gotta be careful about who you talk shit about. You got to be careful who you, because you don't know the motherfucker you talking shit about. Man, the connections is just calling, getting your IP address, and it's a wrap. They will they will cut your bloodline off. And I'm not, again, I don't want to get too deep, but they the deepness of gangsters, the deepness of the world it's a dangerous world out there, but the world will work with you when you respect what's going on out there. I don't mean to get too deep. I know we're talking about game, but I'm just saying that it's deeper than just women. Just getting a
Yep.
woman.
Yep. And primal no, that was very, very deep. So
Yeah.
we have primal studies. He's having a question based on the midlife crisis
Yes.
scenario we were talking about. He's saying, so for those dudes who have realized like, hey, I'm in a midlife crisis, what do you think their next moves should be? Kind of similar to what I was asking about actionable steps.
Yeah. Well, their first thing they have to do is accept that this is where I'm at. See, I'm happy with being 50. And I have accepted that I'm going towards my demise. I've reached my top, and now I'm going towards my end. I'm fine with that. I've accepted that. A matter
Mhm.
of fact, I look forward to it. But because at that day, I know the day I die, I'll finally be a man because I'll stop growing. But I look forward to my demise. I'm fine with it. Don't mourn me when I go. I'm good. I'm fine. You know what I mean? But there are some people out there that don't get that. So what I would say, first thing, you must accept that. You've got to accept what is. You have to accept that. Now, then you've got to then at that point, where do I go from this point? Now, do I finally realize that I got to cut off all these goofy motherfuckers that's been giving me bad information and start the rediscovering of myself? where I build a ship in my mind, where I have a blueprint of where I'm going to go in my mind and start discovering me. Because just because you're old doesn't mean that you can't have self-discovery, because at your age, you can still smash the 21s and the 25s and all that other stuff. But it has to be a self-discovery of oneself where you have to really see that, okay, this is where I'm at, and I'm fine with it. You've got to be fine with it, because you have no choice. I'm sorry, I mean, you have no choice unless there's something coming around that's going to give you a slow in your body and time and all that other shit. But until then, you've got to just be fine with it, and then begin the process of moving on. You see what I'm saying? That's just such a hard thing, because it's unfamiliar territory. See, in order to see, if all your life you've been following them motherfucking fake ass motherfuckers across the street, and then one day you realize, oh shit, they've been fucking me over with because in the book, false prophets, or antichrist if you're religious, the ones that just are guiding you somewhere, and you finally realize that who you've been following has been fucking you up, and you've wasted all these years, and now, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's the self-discovery, and it's small steps, and that's where you're going to need coaching. You'll need somebody that can be able to guide you, because you can't guide yourself through the darkness that you're about to walk into, because your whole life has been darkness, because you've been living in somebody else's light. And as long as you've been living in somebody else's light, you cannot, what happens when their light goes away? You're always going to be in darkness. So you've got to learn how to cultivate your life stuff, brother. Yeah, man, it's deep, brother.
Jesus freaking Christ, man. I need. That's why I call you the modern day philosopher, man.
No, man.
Steve, I want to ask you about your gigolo days. Like, you always talk about it. Can you give us a little, like, a summary of, like, what was it like during your gigolo days? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, it's just like it is today. It just, the only difference is that with my clients, of course, it's just that the technology is better. But no, it's just a matter of I used to do the things like I tell guys to do. I used to go to art districts and stuff like that, and dress naked, do naked paintings and shit, nude paintings and stuff. I used to just go to places where like theaters and operas, and I hate that, museums, all that stuff. I used to just go to those places because I knew there was a different class of women there that were looking for studs, looking for people that they would really pay for. See, women don't, it's not, see, people think being a gigolo is about fucking. No, it's about holding her. It's about spooning with her. It's being in the tub, just listening to her talk about her day. It's about just making her laugh and tickling her. It's doing all the things that her man, husband, boyfriend, lover wasn't doing. And she's paying you. Now, sex comes with it, of course, because she wants that bond. But there's an understanding that when I leave that door, I leave what we have at the door. The rule is you don't see the rule in the circle. See, this is why I tell guys about business on the street. You can see everybody always, and that kind of goes back to the receipt thing. What you got to understand, and I think a lot of young men don't understand, when you have women making high 6 figures and low 7-figure salaries, women that are in a man's world, and only one fuck up, they're gone. They've got to be cautious. You've got women that are in charity organizations, pillars of the community. You've got women doing like food drives and all. I mean, just doing shit that has a reputation to lose. They're not going to fuck with anybody that says, "Oh, I got to prove myself to you. Well, here's a woman right here." No, you can't do that. You cannot share client information. You cannot talk about women, because as soon as you do that, you are excommunicated from all the circles. Because remember, I told you, see, like what's the eyes wide shut? There's so many eye wide shuts going on right now in your neighborhood. You don't even know about it. There's so many things with rich people that they're doing that's sexual. You have no idea that's going on. And the reason why most guys don't know is because if you got the kind of mouth that is running your mouth, that no one's fucking with you. Nobody is fucking. So as a gigolo, that was the rule. I can't talk about other women. I can't talk about clients. I don't know back. I cannot do that because by doing that, you're fucking up her world. And she's
Yes.
paying you to shut the fuck up and to please her and go about your way. And yes, well, you're gonna have problems too. Women are gonna fall in love with you.
Yep.
Women are gonna want to be with you. Women are gonna want to leave their husbands and boyfriends and all that other stuff. You gotta,
Oh, jeez.
you got to deal with all that shit.
Oh my God.
You got, because the connect. See, the thing that I love about me so much about me is that when I'm with a woman, I know how to make her feel like the only one in the world. But like I've always told guys, I'm not trying to fuck. I'm not trying to get her attention. I'm not trying to get her to like me or love me. I want to be an addiction or a habit. And that's just something that, my competitive person in me always wants to be the best of the best. So by doing that, my problem is I give her that drug. And then that drug is something she's got to have on a constant basis. And then because she has to have it on a constant basis, her emotions kick in. And all of a sudden she has to have me all to herself. And you can't have me to. You can listen. You can trade me off. You can look, because women, man, in these things, man, it's awesome. Because it's awesome when women are like this. You know what? Like a baseball card. Now, let me give you an example. Like we're like kids, Well, I've got a football card. I've got this football player. I'll trade you this football player for that football player. Okay, let's trade cards, right? Well, let me tell you what these women do. Well, I've got this guy over here. Man, he fucked the shit out of me. But hey, I want you to try him out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send him over to you. Oh, okay, you got one? Well, I'm gonna send you this one over. Okay, well then you know what? Why don't you send that one over and I'll send my girlfriend over? Or can I join you when I send them over? It's so many, it is so many layers. And the thing this is the funniest shit about it. Women, I love women that sit around, because if you go to these, like some of these YouTubes, these women are holier than thou. I would never do that. And I'm a good girl. And I would do this. And I would man, if you knew, again, when you see it, it's mind blowing. But what you don't understand is that woman that's in college right now is fucking nothing but old men or professor and all this other stuff. And I'm not gonna say she's for the streets and all that, because here's my thing. When did it become it's okay for us to fuck everybody and women not, and women have to sit around and not fuck?
Facts.
Right. So, but you want to fuck, who do you think you're gonna be fucking? A woman. So I'm just saying you're gonna be fucking. So, but you gotta understand, these women, they're into a lot of it's not just the drugs, and people just don't know how this shit works, where these women just secretly get driven but not gonna say the women, but get back to the gigolo thing. How you're not doing anything, you get a phone call and it's are you free? And okay, what time? Okay, and it's gonna be this place. Okay, you give you a time and place. And you drive up to a gated community. Now wait, you drive up to the gated community. First level is a security guard. He takes your ID, make sure you're on the list. Then you drive through this long pathway where there's acres. I'm talking about one house on probably 6 acres. Like, the houses are spread out, but they're acres and shit.
Yep.
You drive up, and then you got the valet parking and stuff. And then you walk in, and then when you walk in, you got to act like you've been there. As when you walk in, you see naked women walking right by you. You'll see a woman sucking a guy's dick. You'll see a woman over there with fucking 2 guys. You'll see 2 women with a guy over there. I mean, it's all types of shit. You see drugs, but you can't be like, oh my God, wow, I can't believe she's doing it. No, you got to act like you've been there, because even when you go in there, they have like a cigar room or a wine room. Is
this a swingers party, by the way, that you're referring to, or is this like?
This is different lifestyles. Yeah, it's sometimes
Okay.
it's swingers, sometimes it's orgies.
Okay.
Sometimes it's you know what? I've got somebody that wants 2 guys. Can you come where husband watches you fuck? Or
Damn, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Okay, you come, can you make it? If not, they'll find the next guy. But the thing is, when you go in there, that's where you have the big names. Again, it could be football players or it could be athletes, senators, powerful men.
Yeah.
CEOs, I mean, powerful motherfuckers that are in there, that are discussing business. I mean, they just sitting around discussing business in that motherfucking room. It's so damn deep. It's not, the fucking is minute to these people, but it's a recreation that they have all the time. They're just constantly it's going on all over the place. It's just people don't see it. You're just because if you're not privy to it, you don't see it. But the key thing is it just that's just part of the lifestyle where once you're in, women are just going to keep trading you off. You'll just keep getting phone calls. You'll keep getting messages. Such and such sent me. Such and such sent me. So, this is what I'm into. And you know what? Role play. I mean, see, people don't. I know I'm gonna get crazy, but people don't.
No, this is good.
Yeah, people don't understand what it takes to do this kind of stuff. If you're not willing, and I'm gonna give you an example. If you're not willing to role play, that's the easiest thing. If you're the guy that says that's stupid, I'm not dressing up like no construction worker, I'm not dressing up like I'm a robber and all this stuff. I'm not doing that's stupid. Then get out the game. Because not only as a gigolo, but women have freaky, nasty fantasies. Just because you see her at work and she's all prim and proper, she might have a rape fantasy, a daddy fantasy, a rob me fantasy, a slave fantasy. I'm going for They all have. Every woman has her kink, a kink. So I remember, like I always tell guys, I remember the one chick before I broke up with her, she asked me to jerk off on her eggs so she can eat them before I left her. You know what I mean? It's her kink.
Damn.
But what I'm saying is that the one thing you can't do is judge. That's why I always talk about judgment.
Yes. I was just going to say that too.
Right. You can't judge them. But here's the problem and why those guys lose, because all they're doing is teaching guys how to judge. Always. See, she's not for the streets. She's just a woman learning her sexuality. Listen, I'm sorry women love to be penetrated. I'm sorry they like to take brushes, any type of I have one loving cucumbers. We would go shopping for different size cucumbers because she liked to fuck herself with a cucumber. We chop that shit up and she'd eat the salad and shit. It's all cool.
Yeah. I love that shit.
Yeah, but you can't judge her for that.
Right.
You can't
right.
see
it's just the person's craving. Like that's what they want. It's animalistic. It's normal. It's biology. It's human. It's fine. It's human nature.
Absolutely. And when you stop judging, that's all I'm trying to get these men to do. Stop judging. Guys do not understand women enough to understand that they are constantly learning their bodies, learning how different ways that they can masturbate, different things that they can insert in their body to give them a certain feeling that goes with their fantasy. So I'm not here to fucking judge you on that shit. I don't care enough about you to judge you. This is my whole thing. Listen, be what you want, but I know that if I can be more than what you want, then you're going to sell and market me to your friends. And then when you market me to your friend, or, I always talk about how the guys do it at work and shit. When I was working, they used to do that, how I used to fuck their wives and all that shit. But it was the marketing. But I own everything I do is for me. I don't know how many times I stress that, but I do what I do so they can market me because I know that the next woman's man or boyfriend isn't doing that. So what they do is they keep picking her for information. Well, what did he do today? Did he send you an audio? Can I listen to it? Did he send you a video today? Can I listen to it? Oh my God, you mean to tell me he sent you an audio to masturbate with it? Girl, send that to me. Let me hear what he said and then they're masturbating of it. So I'm getting her friends to fall in lust with me, not love with me, but to fall in lust with me, where they come and fuck with me on the back end, where they're like, you know what? Look, I don't normally do this, and then they on I'm not that kind of girl. I've got to go to church in the morning. I'm not that, and I'm like, I don't judge. Hey, look, and see, the more I don't judge, the more dirtier they are. They listen.
That's so powerful. What you just said, Steve. Steve, can you please repeat that again? That was so powerful. What you just said right now.
what did I just say? Because I was on the top of my head. What did I say?
You're saying pretty much like by me not judging them,
Yeah.
I'm fuck, what did you say? You said it was so good what you said. You were saying like by me not judging them, I'm letting them be, I'm letting their sexual cravings pretty much come out more and more and more, and they become more sexual pretty
But
much. That's what it is.
right. Not only okay. I want you guys to think about porn that we all jerk off to.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful women doing the nastiest shit known to man. That's the average woman. The average woman can do everything you see in porn when she realizes that you're not going to judge her for doing that nasty ass shit. And that's where guys go wrong. They always automatically want to judge women when they don't even understand. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to age myself. It's kind of like the movie Grease. Okay, it's a movie with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, guys, called Grease.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Olivia Newton-John was just a square ass chick, right? But what she did was she took off that fucking nerdy ass uniform, threw on some leather, and John Travolta was like, so what I'm saying is that what guys don't understand is the whore type women dress down. The women that don't, who are not whores and sluts, they dress sluttier because they're trying to get more attention. So the problem is most guys, because they see a uniform, they think the uniform is the woman when most women switch uniforms all the time. That's game right there.
Damn. That was woo.
I'm
that
sorry
was good.
for my mouth, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that was so good. Steve, what about, was it usually the guys that asked you, or was it the women that asked you, hey, can you fuck me in front of my husband, or hey, can you fuck my wife in front of me? Like, what was usually,
well,
I don't want to disturb like the confidentiality either.
No. I can talk about, because I'm not putting names out there. So okay. it can happen in two different ways. Okay. So one way happened where, okay, so a guy, again, I'm cool with people. Again, I don't judge, dude. And again, when you're cool with guys, and when you get cool, guys tend to really like loosen up a little bit and stuff like that, and see, and with guys, they kind of see how far you take. It's like, man, man, I love that swinging thing, man. I watch porn, I love the swinging thing, just to kind of feel you out. Hey, yeah, that's cool, man. I like that shit too. I have no problem fucking somebody else's wife. Why? I don't give a fuck about that shit. Hey, you stay in your corner and I will tap her at. I would say that and say, oh, okay. Well, and then we're like, hey, Steve, well, well, I was thinking, maybe you can come over Friday night and stuff and just spend some time with me and my wife. Okay, with that, I got the idea. Or I'll give you another example. Like I always tell guys, when you're at the bar, oh my God, I can't tell how many times you're at the bar and an older guy walks up to you and starts talking to you. See, most guys would be like, man, what the fuck do you want, old man? I'm fucking over here drinking.
Oh, shit. Okay. We're going somewhere now.
Right. So what they don't understand is when rich couples are looking for fucking a stranger, not the man in this, he watching like this, the cuckold thing. It's rules to that. The wife isn't just going to go up to you and say, hey, let me fuck you. No, there's steps to this.
Okay.
The first step is the husband's got to feel you out. That's why he's coming to you at the bar, because the first feel out is making sure that you're safe. Okay, that's number one. So once you realize that you're safe, he'll say, hey, you know what? Hey, my wife is over there. We're having a few drinks. Why don't you come over and join us? Why don't you come on and join us for drinks? And you go over there. So now at that point, the wife and the husband have a inside way of communicating. So you're sitting around talking to the husband and the wife. Okay. So then the wife would either rub the glass or tap her husband. And the husband like, okay, you know what? I'm going to get us some more drinks. I'll be right back. Husband walks off because now you're one-on-one with the wife. So now the first level of comfortability is passed. Now the wife is feeling you out. Now, when the husband comes back and everything's down because the wife feels safe with you, the husband feels safe with you, that will be the second signal. And then that's where it's like, hey, you know what? We got a room. Why don't we take this to the room? Why don't we do that? And so then at that point, you're smashing the wife. But again, that's from the man side, the man side of things. Now, the thing about the women, again, you don't know what they are. I mean, as far as if you don't know if they're married or anything, because a lot of women can disclose that information, so you really don't know. And I don't ask, but you just don't know. And look, if you don't disclose the information, I'm not gonna ask, whatever. You know what I mean? But they do it in different set of ways as well. Again, they will. It's weird. They're always the ones that flirt first with men. Again, I'm not trying to fuck. I'm here to show you why you should fuck me. So I'm cooler than the other side of the pillow. I'm working on. Remember, I'm working here. All I'm doing is working up here. I'm not trying to fight your political beliefs. I'm not trying to do any of that shit. But what happens is, see, you hear me talk about a lot the dress, the purse, and the shoes. See, people don't understand how deep that is. See, dresses, purses, shoes, and makeup take away the woman's insecurity. Okay, now that's very huge. So if you become, I'm not saying become those things, but you're in the same street as those things. That means you can when a woman knows you can take her insecurities away, oh, she's yours forever, because you equal the dresses, the purses, and the shoes. Because when you're with her, you make her lose time. You either educate or elevate her to a point where she's like, well, then that's when her insecurity comes in. Well, he's doing all he's saying, but why isn't he hitting on me? Am I ugly? And the funny thing I always get is like, Steve, can I talk to you for a second? What's up? Am I not attractive to you? Yeah, well, that's why I'm fucking talking to you. What you think I'm not? Well, you never even made a move on you. Well, you really want to know why I don't make it? Because I have no problem telling women that I'm not here to fuck you. I love say. Matter of fact, I always set women up for that anyway. But I'm not here to fuck you. Well, then why are you here? Well, to show you why you should be fucking me. To show you why you should be sucking my dick. That's why I'm here. I'm serious. I'm serious. That's why I'm here. I'm here for you to make a sexual decision, not one that I'm forcing you. I'm not going to force, beg, or pander for you to make that decision. I want you to make it because sucking my dick is better than not having me in your motherfucking life. And women make that decision. It's the same decision that women do when they go to college. See, it's crazy. I tell guys, I always talk about that in August. They don't understand what they're missing out on right now. You've got women right now that are exploring their sexuality, that are sucking 2 dicks, maybe running trains, threesomes, orgies, because they're just trying to figure out their way in this sexual world. All women are doing that shit. It's just you're not privy to that information, and you think these motherfuckers just bookworms reading a book in the fucking library. Man, these motherfuckers are nasty as fuck. Nasty as fuck. But again, a lot of these guys really don't want women. I think they want the idea of having a lot of women, but I don't think they really want women, my brother.
And then that would also correlate into when you say a lot of these motherfuckers are not ready for the game, right?
No, they're not ready, right? Because I always see. I don't want the one thing I do that nobody else does on YouTube. I can guarantee this. The only one that does this. I've always been doing this. I always make sure, depending on the holiday, I always try to set you up to get some ass. Like we got Halloween game. You got the Halloween game on the website. I talked about the Halloween game of setting up your apartment to talk about the ghost that roams the apartment to fuck her in different areas and shit.
Oh, I love that. Storytelling. I love it.
Yeah, but nobody's doing that. And the thing is, like with the Halloween game, is that it really puts you in the forefront. And a lot of guys don't really want to be in there. A lot of guys say, I want the pussy, I want the popularity, I want da. So again, I created it for you. What I do is this. I did all the work. I created the costume. I did the videos to show you how to wear the costume. I told you what to say in the costume. And on the weekend of Halloween, when I get a chance that weekend, I'll find the clubs or the swinger clubs that you can go to. I'll do all the work. All you got to do is show up. All you have to do is show up. And they won't do it because they're not used to beautiful, sexy women coming up to them. It'll fuck their head up because, oh shit, what do I do now? So again, all these guys, even across the street, they don't really want women. I just think they like the idea of wanting women, man.
Okay. And then what would you say, one area I want to definitely go into as like the last part of our episode is the dirty talking.
Yes.
And yeah, so Steve, I I want to circle back to our phone call that we had. You had me one time actually, you put me on the spot, which I enjoy, by the way. You put me on the spot with you and EO on the show to say, all right, call that girl that's in Vegas right now and tell her you're going to come over, you're going to fly over to her place and you're going to, you guys are going to have sex and all that. You're going to get intimate, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And I did the 3-way call and she actually picked up the phone and then we were doing the whole thing. So you guys stayed quiet. And then after the call was over and then you guys were mentioning that the way I went about it was not the way, it sounded fabricated, even though she took it as a more favorable response, but it was sounded like it was not me. Right.
Right.
And, when I thought about it, I listened back to the audio. It did sound a little bit cringe. And also I will have to say that it was, since I was on the spot, I was nervous in front of a bunch of people. I was like, oh shit, I got to sound really good in front of Steve and EO. And I got to sound good in front of everybody. That's what's going on in my mind. Right.
Right.
But then I embraced first of all, by the way, guys, like this was actually a very good exercise that I went through because first of all, I did public speaking classes and stuff. I was part of a public speaking club. I led a freaking public speaking club, for God's sake. So being on the spotlight is okay. And being in a situation where you have to speak in front of people and be on the spot, you got to be quick. Boom. And that's how these women operate. You think you can go back to your, let me read page 16 of The Rational Male. And at this part, okay, hold on one second, baby. Okay. Or let's see. Okay. So in this part, I'm supposed to be responding to you in this way, right? Like that's not how the world works, right? It's got to be quick. You got to be quick. So Steve's exercise was actually extremely beneficial. So for anybody who wants to actually have some balls, call into Steve's show one time when he's with Lucario or when Steve's having a solo show and share with your problem, a problem that you're having about a girl. And then, or you want to set up a date or whatever it is. Steve will literally guide you into the direction of where you should be going. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, but it also tells them their truth.
Yes.
A lot of guys like, well, I got a woman that's being mean to me. What should I do? All right. Do you want to solve it?
Mm-hmm.
Because a man doesn't sit around and let motherfuckers kick him when he's down.
Yep.
He solves shit. So if you want to solve it, you go check that motherfucker right now. And
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, when they say, well, no, I can't do that right now, then you don't really. Then what the fuck are you wasting your time? You don't really want to do it because you sometimes, you know what I mean? You can't tell a woman what to do. And just because she's interested in you, you're fucked because you don't know how to lead her.
Yep.
And then that turns into arguments and you don't know how to handle her. Then that turns into disrespect and you don't know what to do with it. Then that turns into her cheating on you. Then you're the one crying and going on Dr. Phil and shit. And it all can be solved if you just learn you, but you can't learn you because that's why you're here now, because you don't know you. You need somebody that can guide you on how you need to learn you. And that's how crazy it is. But a lot of men, I'm telling you, their ego and shit, they just like, I don't want another man telling me what to do. Well, hey, bullshit, because I listen to somebody older than me that tells me what to do all the time. And just because I'm a bad motherfucker, I ain't shit to compare to that motherfucker. That motherfucker always checking my ass every time I turn around. So, yeah, I'm still growing. Hey, dude, you're infinite. Man, it just doesn't end. You're infinite. You're infinite. I just can't
damn
enough, man. But see, nobody's ever told them that you can't be again. When you're following someone else's sun, you will always be in darkness to the potential that you have for yourself. You can never see it because you're looking at light, and they don't understand that. They don't understand the worst thing they're doing is sitting around bitching. I mean, just having cuddle parties, sitting around with other guys, complaining day in and day out. I mean, this is what I understand. You hate him so much, but yet you want to fuck him. You hate him so much, but all you do is talk about him. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't understand that shit, man.
Or whenever they say, yeah, man, I don't really care about her that much, but like, and he's calling into the show and you're like, well, you definitely care about her enough if you're calling into Steve's show and Lucario and you wanted, you're wanting to get some help. It's funny, Steve. So regarding the dirty talking, right? Yes. What would you say are the the core principles or like the foundation to be a good, smooth, dirty talker, right?
Po- Poetry.
What would you say it again?
Poetry.
That dude, I should have said that because then you would have been like, what? How the fuck did you know that? You know, it's really funny because I swear, I kid you not. I have one of my clients. I told him, I said, listen, when I'm dirty talking with any woman,
Yeah.
it's like poetry. So I'm Iranian, so like in our culture, poetry is very big for us. So I'm like holding my girl in my arms, and I'll literally like start talking, or any girl, right? And from the past, I'll look at her and start dirty talking to her, and I don't even want to fuck her. I don't even want to like. I don't even want to kiss her neck. I will literally. I had it before one time, Steve, where I had a girl like at the wall that's I'm facing right now. I had her stripped down butt naked, and I whisper in her and say, "How does it feel that I got you butt naked and I'm not even touching you, and I have all my clothes on?" And she just got so wet from that.
Yeah.
She's like, "Wait, huh? Wait, what's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. Welcome to my world." Right.
Yeah.
How does it work out, see, for guys who are like very awkward about it, or guys who are scared to be sexual and scared to say dirty things to girls because they think they're all sugar and spice and everything nice?
Well, see, the thing about poetry is funny. It's the one thing a lot of guys think is weak, but then they get in their car and turn on their radio and either sing or rap to poetry.
Yep.
It's funny. It's funny. It's like,
I didn't
yeah,
even realize that. That's
yeah,
true.
poetry. Yeah, I'm not reciting no poetry. Click. You know, everything is poetry.
Yep.
Music, rock music is poetry. Country and western, R&B, it's just poetry. That's all it is. It's not where out thou Romeo type. We ain't talking about Shakespeare shit. But the thing about music, or really the lyrics, is that it taps into the woman's second pussy. And that's what guys understand. That's why women, if you always notice a woman, she's always sing. When the song come on, she love, oh man, she just go in her own little world and just close her eyes and start singing that shit and all that other stuff. Why? Because the words are moving her with you,
Mhm.
of course. And that's where you get the rhythm and stuff. So dirty talk for me, and again, it started with, if for me, I was lucky enough because my mentor kind of showed me when, like just kind of like what you're saying. He put me in a closet. He gave me a mirror, and you know, you slide the mirror into the closet, you can see on the other side and shit. And he just told me to sit there and watch. He brought this bad bitch in, sat her down, and he was just in her ear the whole time. She took off her clothes, rubbed her pussy, and all the other stuff. He was just telling
Fuck
me
yeah.
that, yeah, he was just like you say. He's like, this, you, if you can move a woman's mind, you can get everything you want. It's your words. It's the word. It's not. You can be the brokest motherfucker in the world, but if you can spit that motherfucking flavor, and that's why I learned how to create my culinary school of flavor, of how the different flavors I can pull out of my school to use depending on where I want the woman to be. So, but it's that, but then it goes to, like, you know, if you hear me all the time. I'm a big ass kid, 50 years old. I will watch SpongeBob. I watch cartoons. I watch Marvel and DC. I play
Mhm.
video games. I'm a big fucking kid. I'm a big kid. Why am I a big kid? Because I've never killed the creative side of me. I never killed the
That's
adventurous side of
huge.
me. Yes. I
Huge, you just said that right now.
Oh yeah, the
Mhm.
sense of imagination. I never kill that. See, what we do is as kids, we all have this great imagination as young little boys. I mean, come on, we're in kindergarten, and the teacher could give you a pen, a marker, a paintbrush, or a crayon, and you're in your own fucking world drawing spaceships, dragons, or whatever the fuck it is you're drawing and shit. And you're in your own little world, creating your own universe where you would grab a towel or a sheet and tie it around your neck and act like you're flying, or you would get on your bike and act like it's a plane or whatever. Your imagination, when you pick up a stick, that stick could be a fucking gun the right way, how to shape you,
Yep.
and all that other stuff. So as children, we have an imagination and it sticks with us until somebody on the outside world tells your fucking ass you're immature. Why don't you grow up? Why stop acting so immature? And then not you, but what the guy does at that point, he kills the thing that he's going to need later on in life to really fuck these women the way they should be fucking. But he kills that side because he's like, you know what? Uh, I don't know I don't have any imagination anymore. I don't know how to have a sense of adventure anymore. I don't know how to be creative. You used to be, but you killed that off because some motherfucker judged you and you took what they said as truth, and you were like, or it was a woman, you act so mature. Okay, well, I'll stop being immature. I'll grab the Wall Street Journal and kick my feet and put a. I mean, fuck you, but right? Nah, man, fuck you. No, 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 no. That's part of it. See, it's a combination of how your words are, but also then see, this is a new one. I'm telling you for the first time that they don't know about that. I'm gonna tell you first time they haven't heard about this. But where is your theater at in your mind? Theater in your mind is the place where you do all your roles at, where you are sitting on the stage and you are performing for yourself. You guys don't even know about, most guys like, what the fuck does he mean a theater in his mind? That's gay. See, that's the shit.
Game.
Right, but you know what? They don't talk about that. And that's what blows my mind. See, the thing about an actor that is Oscar worthy is what? One that has what they call range. And range means that a man can be, this is a man with range. He can be a gangster. He can be a father. He can be a good guy. He can be a superhero. He can be a regular guy. He can be a bum. He can be all sorts of things. And when you watch him, you really believe that that guy is really that thing. That's a person who has range. He's still the same person, but because they say, I'm an actor, whatever, all that bullshit, is because he knows how to play a role, which goes into the role play. But that's part of having a sense of adventure, having creativity and imagination. They just go back to that place and portray that role. Like people don't understand, like you got the green screen things and shit and the CGI. So they'll tell you, okay, well, there's a monster in front of you. So you gotta protect. And like, you know what I mean? When the cameras are rolling and shit, they're like, and there's nothing because they're using their imagination to portray a role. So the viewer that's watching them believes that actually that CGI monster is actually real. Oh my God. But see, that's range. And see, you got to have range on top of all these other things. The last thing I want to say on there is that you've got to have different hats. See, kinky, dirty, nasty self, naughty self, romantic, sexual, sensual. People don't understand that you are a barrage of things. It's okay. It's something my mentor told me a long time. Like I used to watch, we still watch it here and there, but they used to do this thing called the Super Friends. Okay. Super Friends back in the day when the shit was like hot in like 70s and shit. They only have 4 fucking main superheroes. It was Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and fucking Aquaman. Basically, they were the 4 motherfuckers in the Hall of Justice. They started adding motherfuckers later on. Fuck all that shit. But anyway, so there's important why I'm telling you this. See, when they were in the Hall of Justice, they would get on the big screen the problem. So if it was a problem in the ocean, whoever could fit the problem, they would send out. So if it was the ocean, they don't need to send Superman or Batman to the ocean. That's Aquaman's domain. So they'd send Aquaman. If it's a bank robbery, they'd send Batman. If it was a plane in the sky, they would send Wonder Woman or Superman. And if it was something with a meteor, they say, so whatever it is, you send out. So it's the same thing with sex. Whatever the woman is, based off of her music, because women are, I always say, like music, that's the adjustment that you are going to have to make. Because even though she's got a kinky, dirty side to her, she's got to build trust, then sexual trust. It's not, life is not porn where a woman's gonna be like, oh, how you doing? I'm Jane. Well, hold on one second. Let's go fuck right here, right now. Let me take it. It's not like that. And so a lot of young men don't understand that. A lot of young men don't understand that you don't need to trick your money. Matter of fact, there was I was going to do something on it, but there was an article a few days ago where one was bitching that she had to go to Taco Bell and buy 100 tacos for her date. Because when she ran into the motherfucker told her, look, let's go to Taco Bell and I want to get some food. She drives him to Taco Bell. And he ordered 100 tacos and he made her pay for it. And she paid for it. And then they got back to her place. He sat down, they ate the tacos. He let his dad eat some tacos. She didn't leave. She stood there. Then all of a sudden she wants to leave him afterwards. But see, this is what I'm trying to say. When women know assholes and they got a love for them, any woman that sit there and tell you, I would never date an asshole. I'm a good girl and I would never be with somebody like that. And man, they're lying their fucking asses off.
Yep.
Because all it does is it takes one motherfucker to make that pussy wet in her mind, and she gonna do the nasty shit known to man, brother.
Woo, damn. Do you have that the Jill Scott audio where she's
Yeah,
like,
well, I think I have it somewhere. Let me see if I have. Yeah,
I just have to.
let me see if I had that shit. Let me see. I think I got that shit. Yeah, because I play that shit so much because they don't even. Let me see if I have to find that.
Yep. That is one of the most powerful things that
Oh
I've
yeah,
ever heard.
it's super powerful. I think I got. Wait, let me see. How did I grab Jill Scott? I grabbed her, put her there, and put her there. How did I grab it? Let me see. I'm trying to say how I grabbed that shit. Yeah, but I can still talk. I'm just. I'll look.
Yeah. No. Wow. I want to actually just speak on what Steve said was very, very powerful. There are some days where I feel like being a fucking sexual like freak. Like I want to be aggressive. I want to be. Bernie is saying, play the guy who's crying, or he's like like that on the audio. So I mean, sometimes I just look at the women in my life, and I just want to be an absolute monster to these girls. And sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even in the mood for it. Sometimes I just want to be like, like soft, caring. Sometimes I just want to be, you know what? I'm going to put her into 50 different positions. I feel like doing mental gymnastics, physical gymnastics with this girl. Yes. I want to put her in the kitchen. Like, see, that's what a lot of guys don't understand is that, when you're having sex with these girls and you're penetrating them, sometimes taking a break is actually very powerful. So like, I will literally tell her, I'll stick my dick out and be like, hey, how bad do you want it? And she's like, I want it. Be like, no, but tell me you really, really, really want it. That role playing, man. I'm serious. Right. And then sometimes I'll just tell the girl, like, you know what? I want to take you to that parking structure right now. I'm going to pull down your pants and I'm going to fuck you on the hood of my car. And I want you to literally just like scream as loud as you can throughout the parking structure so that shit echoes all around. Like, let these girls like be wild with you. And whatever your fantasy is, like, have them be part of that journey with you. See, that is so powerful. And that's why women stay with guys like us, because we fulfill their fantasies.
Yeah. Well, I can't. So it's not even fulfill. I don't see. Yes, I fulfill her fantasy, but because I'm always like this. I always like to up the ante.
Okay. I like that. I like that better. Just up the ante, baby.
I need to know what the fantasy is.
Okay.
So then once I know what the fantasy is, I can up it, because if I up it, I'm giving you more of the drug of me, because the next time you think about that fantasy, you'll be like I say, like the Easter game thing. There's not one motherfucking guy out there that's tell these motherfuckers to do the Easter game where you go get the eggs, the handcuffs, and the rope. You type up the dirt shit, you put them in an egg, and you have her go Easter egg hunting.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Because I'm a bad motherfucker. But what I'm saying is that's game. See, but the big question is why aren't they teaching that to these young men?
Right.
Why aren't they teaching these things? These are not tactics. This is something that you rehearse, that you utilize when the time is right. But they don't do that. It's amazing to me, man.
Yeah, society doesn't want people to win. They don't want guys like us to succeed, and they want guys to be literally like just sheep. Like the whole time you're just following the bullshit. Like 99 ways to please a woman. It's like, bitch, I don't need to know about 99 ways to please a woman. I have me to please myself, which essentially makes her happy to be around a guy like me, because I'm putting myself first, because if I'm having fun, she's having fun. Best believe that.
That's it. I guess there's 99 ways to please. But no, I know millions of ways to please her, but
yeah,
I don't need somebody to tell me, because I can create it. And I'm an originator. I don't try to follow someone else's son. I want to look at ways to keep upping the ante of sex, not only with myself, but with a woman, man. It's great. It's nothing like when a woman's like just looking at you like, who, I think I'm falling in love. And then they go in the bathroom, turn the water on and shit, start crying and shit, stuff like that, man. But, that's when the pussy's always going to be yours. And it's Sorry,
Well,
man.
how do you know that, Steve? For guys that are really curious, I got to ask this last question. How do guys know that the pussy belongs to them? When do they, what are the signs? Like, how do they know? Like, what are the kind of text messages that girls are sending them? So guys would be like, yep, I'm
They're
there.
they're saying I miss you so much.
Hmm.
Think about you. I need you in my life.
Hmm.
My life isn't the same without you. Now again, some women will go away. Have so many women that say, you know what, I'm done. I'm going cold turkey. I'm done. I'm just tired of being a whim to you. I don't stick at you telling me I'm bored and all this. I'm gone. And then they'll come back months later because again, the beautiful thing about being a man, we're just so far and so few. And
Hmm.
when a woman experiences a man, she always gonna come back, man. She's just it's the experience. So yeah, man.
Hmm.
It's see, it's what I call touching her without touching her.
Yeah.
I don't need
Yes.
I don't need to technically be near you to touch you. All I gotta do is talk to you.
Yep. That's it.
And I'm gonna fucking I can touch you in a million ways. So
Hmm.
I know the pussy is mine. I just gotta show you, excuse me, or position myself to show you that you know what your pussy is mine. And then once you realize the pussy is mine, I'm not gonna shame you.
Right.
I'm not gonna knock you down. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna laugh at you. And I'm not gonna make fun of you. I'm just gonna say, okay, I get it. Because when I do that, because you never, I know, no judge. I listen, no judgments.
Yes.
I never
Yes.
listen. Tell me. See, the more you don't judge, the more they open up. Now, again, the open up might
Facts.
start off with Uncle Johnny, or it might start off with what she did as a little girl, and blah 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 blah, blah, and she's just testing and filling out. But later on, I'm in bed right now. Just I'm just I'm a little horny, and okay, cool. You know what I mean? And you're like, because they test you out with fillers because they want to make sure that the more they open up, you're not going to make them feel stupid for doing it. And the more you accept them for the nasty shit they do, that's when they begin open. Because there's so many women that I met that didn't even like eating pussy. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, well, you don't like eating pussy, okay, but you know what? Let's try some things and see if you might like it. So first thing I do is make her taste her own pussy juices and shit.
Hmm.
But what's
Hmm.
odd to me is that she's already doing it. You know what I mean? Like, well,
Yep.
hey,
Off your fingers.
oh, my right, no, like a bunch of ribs and shit, you know what I mean? Just staring all over her face and licking it off her. They love that shit. So again, it's step by step. But I always ask, did you ever experience anything with your girlfriends? It's either the lesbian thing or anal sex. That's how you break them in. Those are two break-ins. So, but it's doing that, and again, it's just them being open to it. Now, again, a lot of women are open with their husbands because their husbands are in cuckold position. So they know that. It's just they've got to find somebody that accepts what they have, does not judge what they have, and is fine with doing it and just moving on and leaving them to their own devices without putting their business on the street. Most guys can't do that because most guys judge. Think about that. What do you think that shit across the street? All they teach you is how to judge and
Yes.
blame and judge. So
I can attest to what Steve is saying as well, because it's funny when you're coming from a place of no judgment, and that is in alignment with authenticity, in
yes,
alignment with honesty, transparency, and being direct.
yes.
It's funny, Steve. I had girls that have boyfriends or allegedly have boyfriends when they're let's say not with their boyfriend. They
Yeah.
open up with me and they tell me my boyfriend doesn't fuck me right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just
Yep.
yeah. Dude, I just
And Steve, I'll say this. I have to
yeah.
say this. I had to say this. One time, a girl told me near her man that they don't have sex, and
Like,
I'm like, what? In my head, I'm like this bitch is actually gonna tell me this right now, and I'm just looking at the guy like, all right, whatever. But like these girls, man, I'm telling you, when you come from a place of no judgment, that power is so and that's the reality of life. In my opinion, that is the reality of life. Like when you're not judging anyone for their sexual cravings, their desires, or whatever way, however kinky they are, or however vanilla they are, or whatever, it's
bro.
don't make fun of them. Don't clown them for being who they want to be during
Right.
sex in
Well,
bed.
just like you, I get the hey Steve, how you doing? It's been a long time since I talked to you. Yeah, what's going on? Man, I just haven't fucked. I haven't had a dick in like 6 or 7 months, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. No, I'm serious. You don't believe me, do you? I know you don't believe me. No, I'm like, okay. All I said was cool. You know what she does? She'll go to her man, baby. When's the last time we fucked? It was about 7 months ago. See, I told you. I told you, and you didn't believe me. And I'm like, I didn't even ask. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. But I mean, they 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 cling to your every word because they know when they get with you that you do things and show them things that they have never experienced before, and feelings and emotions, and they don't want to lose. They get drugged out on you like a crack whore. They get all cracked the fuck out on you, where they got to keep smoking you. They got to keep in. The worst thing they do, see, this is what my mentor told me about game. Let them run. Let them go. Hey, look, go cold turkey. Hey, be an alcoholic and just say one day I'm gonna stop drinking, or be hooked on crack cocaine or heroin and say I'm gonna stop taking drugs. Hey, you might do it for a few days, you might even do it for a week, but eventually that drug's gonna pull your ass back in, and that's what we do. We pull them back in. You know, just when they think they're getting out, they get sucked back. And listen, it's not by my force. It's by the memories, moments, and emotional feelings that they are missing. Remember, I always tell you, I keep saying, nobody's talking about it. It's not what I'm doing when we're together. It's how you feel when I'm not around. That's where it's at right there, man.
Yep. And I remember I screen recorded that on your video with Lucario, and I posted that shit. And that was extremely powerful. And I never have actually verbally said this, but in my mind, I always thought that. I said, listen, the impact is made when you're gone. I mean, she's texting me, she's telling me how much she misses me, how much, and I love to tell these girls. She's like, oh my god, you getting me so wet at work. I'm like, damn right, I want to get you wet at work. In fact, I want you to feel so embarrassed that you keep crossing your legs while you're at your desk. And you know what? I'm like, listen, baby, if you want to go to the bathroom and go touch yourself while you're talking to me, I will take time. I'll take 5 minutes out of my day right now, and I'll start dirty to you. If you want me to do that, do you want to do that? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, listen, whenever you're ready to do it, let me know. Just go to the bathroom and do it. I mean, I've had that experiences before. It's crazy. And I've had girls send me nudes while they're at fucking work. They're supposed to send the financials to their boss, but they're just playing with their pussy in front of me on FaceTime.
That's why I would I always tell them to take their panties off, take their telephone and slide it right in the crevice of their pussy, their phone vibrate, and I would just keep calling their phone and
oh, that is game right there.
So I would do that to them. But yeah, they love
Damn, that was good.
They love that shit because the average motherfucker won't. They don't even think on that level. Well, honey, Tuesday is okay if we have intercourse tonight. I mean, that's how they are. And these women, they hit their midlife crisis because they think about a woman all her life. She's like, man, boys are buying me things, mommy. And then as they get older, they're still buying her shit. And then when she is old enough, they're buying her drinks, want to get her dinner. She's the source, and she's the sun, moon, and stars, all these guys. And then she gets married. And then here she is. Man, ain't even fucking her right. She got the goddamn kids. She's stressing the fuck out and all that. And she just wants to feel safe. That's why I always tell guys, I don't know why they hate single mothers. Single mothers fuck faster than any woman out there.
Agreed.
Because of the Cinderella story.
Agreed.
From Monday to let me tell my dog, everyone listen, from Monday to Thursday, she's got to worry about homework and school. She's got to worry about clothing and food when they're going to bed. She's got to clean up after them. And all she's doing is, like the midlife crisis, is missing out on those days where she can get with her girlfriend and act a fucking fool, kiss on the dance floor and tease the guys and all that shit for drinks, whatever the fuck. She's missing those days. And she knows that when she goes out, maybe it's a Friday or Saturday or ladies' night on Thursday, she's got a window, a 4-hour window to find a motherfucker to fuck, because most of the time all they're doing is the dildo or their finger. So there's a time where she wants a warm piece of meat inside of her, or she wants to suck a warm piece of meat. So she gets the babysitter, gives her mom, but she only has a 4-hour. She doesn't have time to sit around and talk for weeks. I got a 4-hour window. So in these 4 hours, I need to give a signal to someone that can read the signal that I got 4 hours. So fuck all that talk. Let's get a room, fuck the shit out of me for 3 hours, and send me back home feeling good about myself. So that's why when guys are on the dance floor and women are like, well, wow, I'm getting out because my kids, or I'm a single mom, they will give you words. When they talk about their kids or being a single mother, that's telling you that I only got 4 hours. So can we just cut the bullshit? Can we just go upstairs? Let's get a room. Let me suck the dick, lick the dirt off your balls, fuck the shit out of me, come all over my face, send me at home because the pumpkin's gonna turn at midnight, and let me just go back to my regular life. But see, these guys think the women are the scourge of the earth, but they like to fuck.
Steve, I had a single mom one time take me out for my birthday, and we had dinner, which she paid for, and then we had Italian food. I remember it was actually an earthquake in California at the time, so
Yes.
we had we had dinner. That's when the earthquake happened at the restaurant, and then we went to a bar, and then we were there for a little bit, and she wanted to dance, and I was dancing with her. And then on the way back, she's being a little bit of a bitch. And this is when my game wasn't as rock solid as it is now.
Yes.
But like on the way back, Steve, her son was home. And usually her son's not home when she invites me to her house. Her son was fucking home. And I said, wait, so I see lights are on in your house. Like your son's lights are on. Like, is he home? And she's like, yeah, he is. But you can still come over. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. Like I cannot do that. I can't see the look of a young boy look at me like a young kid about to fuck his mom. I'm like, I'm sorry. I cannot do that. And she begged Steve, like literally begging me, saying like, it's not a big deal. I'll just sneak you in and everything. And I'll explain to little Jake that everything's okay. And he's someone I've been dating. I'm like, no, this kid is smart enough. He's like fucking 15 or 16 years old. Like he knows what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm not, and he's probably seen porn of like a young guy fucking a single mom anyway. So he's like, he knows what's going on. And I stood by my guns, and she the next day respected me so much for that. She's like, listen, I know I was really horny. I know I really wanted you bad. But I appreciate your stance on the fact that you didn't want my son to see this. And I told her, I'm like, and then the point of the story for everyone who's watching this is not that I'm some holy, guy for doing this. The point is that single moms, like Steve is saying, like they crave dick, and any girl is craving dick really bad. If you just hit her in the right spots, like up here, mental, again, remember guys, the whole place of no judgment, like that really is probably one of the most powerful things you ever shared on air with me, Steve, and everybody else.
Brother, I can't tell you how many times I'll be out, or I'm even with another woman, and I get these calls. Can you just stop by? And it's not going there because, like I say, she got the kids inside.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean she can't come outside in the parking lot and suck your fucking dick.
Yeah.
Or go into the wooded area and get some.
Yep.
They're like, I just need to taste it. I just need it on my cheek. Just smack me in the face. I just need to feel it. I'm stressing the fuck out.
Yes.
And I just need to can I just put my mouth on? Just look.
Yes.
Just bye. Just give me 5. They always just try to time it out. Like, just give me.
Yep.
It's like the same. It's the equivalent of a guy saying, "Come on, baby, let me just put the tip in." It's the same thing. Just give me a few minutes. Just a few minutes.
And just put it for a second. Just a second.
And what they do is when they grab the dick, they like, I'm like, God damn, it's been 5 minutes. I got no. And then they get the strength of the hawk for some reason, and they like take their hand and they like hit your chest and they push you back like this because they like it's like the antidote is in somewhere in your balls. They gotta get the antidote. They go. Just please let me just enjoy this. Let me just enjoy this. That's all I'm asking. And then when they get done, you're busting them and shit. Like, yeah. Okay, you can leave now. Just you can go now. I'm fine now. I'm good until next week, or I'm good for a few days. And you like, I just feel like I'm so used. I mean, you just like, damn. You just. I just want to say hi. I mean, you're joking around, but that's just how it is. But these single women, they want to feel sexy.
Yes.
and they feel when they're a mother, they're losing their sexuality, and they feel like, oh man, their midlife crisis is that I can't live the life I used to live. And then they run into motherfuckers like me. Listen, number one, I keep telling guys, don't make it about the kid. Never make a single mother about the kid. Make it about her. And as long as you make it about her and don't bring Junior into this shit, you're fine. So you focus on her, but through making her sexy and understanding that she's got a lot of shit to do, that's when I read between the lines. I know when she's having a long day. Even though I'm not even maybe 3 or 4 states away from her, why don't you relax and take a nice bath? And what I like for you to do, and I tell my clients to do this all the time, we'll go on video and I just want to watch you relax. That's all I want to do. So while I'm working, I'll have you on video. I can work and I can look at you. You can look at me looking at you. Just relax. And it does something to women that we see. Again, that's that imagination shit. Most guys would never even think about doing that shit, just because. But like, I'll give you a quick example.
Yeah, please.
He said he wanted to go over a girl's house, and then he's like, "Man, I don't go to that bitch house, man. She on her period." I say, "Stop. I ain't going, man. I don't want to do it, man. Now she got part you want to fuck, and she cramping." I said, "Bruh," I said, "Big dog, this is what I want you to do. Trust me. Go over there, call her, and tell her, okay, I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna rub your feet, and do you have something warm to put on your stomach to ease the cramping? If you don't, I'll go get you something, okay?" Why is that? I said, motherfucker, follow the playbook. All right. And I'm not telling you anything's going to happen, but just follow the playbook, because it's the little things like that when they get off their period, that you're the first one they fucking. But what happened with him, he did all those things. And as I told him, once you do those things, just leave. Okay. Because you want to leave an impression. So as he was walking to the door, she gets up, and as he's opening the door, she pushes the door and closes it, grabs him, turns him around, gets on her knees, and sucks his dick and swallow. And he's like, holy shit, I had no idea. I said, you want to know why? Because you don't understand women. Hey, listen, I know you guys want to fuck, but sometimes listening and reading between the lines will get you pussy faster than trying to force your way in between her legs, big dog. So that's what I'm talking about. Just say on that shit, man.
Damn, fucking game. Well, I want to say this for everyone who is watching this episode of the Gray Mill podcast. This is truly a great way to end the 30th episode of the Gray Mill podcast. I mean, I wanted to, one of the biggest takeaways I wanted everybody to have from Steve's presence is that, if you come from a place of honesty, transparency, everything that Steve talks about, honesty, transparency, being direct, straightforward, and sticking to your to who you are as a man.
Yes.
And most importantly, being non-judgmental, because it doesn't just affect sex and women, it affects the world of business. It affects your friendships. It affects your role with your family. I mean, for God's sakes, like I am one of the most, I consider myself very non-judgmental. And now I feel like a world of opportunities has opened for me for money, right? For the women that came into my life. And now I have the woman in my life that I feel is most compatible with me. And, she's going through the ringer, and we're working together and making sure it's all compatible for each other.
Yes.
And everything is just so harmonious. Like, I want guys, listen to Steve, please, guys, whoever, if this is Steve's your first time ever listening to Steve, listen to motherfucking Steve the Dean, because this guy will save your fucking ass. Now, he's not going to take credit for that he saved your ass, but he's going to help you get to the truth. And that's what Steve did to me. Him, Lucario, Miles. I mean, I in fact, I interviewed everybody on the Real Game No Theory panel, and I'm so honored. I'm truly blessed to be able to have that opportunity, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to give a pat on the back for doing that, and I'm also going to say a big thank you to Steve the Dean for being on this episode today, man. I'm really, really, again,
thanks.
Really happy for you, man. Thank you for blessing us with your knowledge. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Thank you for getting guys to, see the way the world should work, and in the sense that it's true to their nature, true to the way that they think, and also being a place of non-judgment. So these girls can be freaky and just let them be, animalistic. We're all animals in the end. We're all fucking mammals. So let us just be free. Let us roam and have our sexual fantasies out,
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Everybody that's listening to the show, we were only supposed to do an hour and a half.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I'm just saying that game. The game just goes on. It just doesn't. There's no time limit on game, because it's just a flow, man. I'm just saying, it just goes, man. You just go with it, man, because you connect, you feel, you talk, you laugh, you enjoy yourself. It's that's all we've been doing here is enjoying ourselves, talking and just chopping it up, passing stories back and forth, man. And
Yep.
that's what it is, man. I
Yep.
appreciate you having me, man.
Absolutely. So shout out to the moderator Bernie. Thank you, Bernie, for your comments. Thank you for everybody who was on the chat. Thank you for everybody who's watching, and of course, anyone who's watching on the replay. Thank you for watching this as well. Steve, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, just go to themanmindset.com and I just ask everybody out there, don't believe me. See it for yourself. Don't believe anything I say. Be skeptical and just go through the first page. That's why I have the first page on there to not only show you what I can do, but there's nobody teaching you the Halloween. It's absolutely free, of course, but it's on the front of the website. They're absolutely free to utilize. And I'm trying to get you ass. So nobody listen, when I say there's nobody on YouTube giving you Halloween game like this, I actually mean there is nobody on YouTube giving you what the fuck I'm giving you. Nobody.
Steve, I love it. And thank you so much for again being on the show. Guys, you all have a great night. Peace out to everybody. And the game lives on, baby.
Boom.
Peace.
Peace.